Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, I would like to begin by reading from Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the Madhya Leela of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter number 22, entitled The Process of Devotional Service. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing his very dear disciple and devotee, our Sambandha Acharya, Śrīla Sanatana Goswami. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us the definition of faith, because everything rests upon faith, Shraddha. There are 9 stages in devotional service, in Bhakti. In a devotee's progress toward Krishna's lotus feet, there are 9 phases, 9 stages of evolution of Bhakti in the life of a sadhak. From sadhak to siddha, from sadhak, practicing devotee, to siddha, a perfected devotee. As we go from sadhak to siddha avastha, there are 9 phases. Srila Rupa Goswami describes these in Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ādav Shraddha. This verse is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Ādav Shraddha. Everything begins with Shraddha. First, there should be some faith. On the basis of this faith, we go to a sadhu. Ādav Shraddha tatha sadhu sam. With some faith in our heart, we go to a sadhu. And when we hear from the sadhu, Srila Prabhupada says, most important process is hearing. When we hear from the sadhu, we come to know what bhajan we are supposed to do. We are supposed to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are supposed to worship Krishna. We are supposed to read Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are supposed to worship the deity of Krishna. We are supposed to associate with devotees. We are supposed to bow down to Krishna. We are supposed to glorify Krishna. We are supposed to surrender to Krishna. All these instructions we get from sadhu, sadhu guru, sadhu sangha. And our bhajan kriya starts. Ādav Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha, then bhajan kriya. Because of bhajan kriya, we become purified. Anartha nivritti. Vices in the heart go away. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego, and illusion. Because of bhajan kriya. And when we become purified, we stop our sinful activities and we stop committing offenses. Then we get, our Shraddha becomes very strong, firm faith. It becomes Nishtha. Ādav Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, anartha nivritti, Nishtha. When Nishtha becomes more mature, it becomes a taste in Krishna consciousness. With Anartha Nivritti, we become fixed up, Nishtha, fixed up in our bhakti. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Tesham antagatam papa, janana punya karma, te dvandva moha nirmukta, bhajate mam drida vrata. Tesham antagatam papa. First, we have to have Anartha Nivritti. We should stop committing sins and offenses. Then bhajate mam drida vrata. Then we can become fixed up. That is called Nishtha. Nishtha matures into taste. If we practice Krishna consciousness with firm faith, Steady bhakti. If we practice, not someday 16 rounds and someday 12 rounds, I'll carry forward 4 rounds. When I'm traveling, I will eat in restaurants. When I'm at home, I will eat prasad. That is not steady bhakti. That is unsteady bhakti. But when nishtha purvak bhakti, when we have steady bhakti, then Krishna gives us taste. Param drishtvā nivartate. We get a higher taste. That is called ruchi. When we experience that taste, then we never fall down. It is said that a devotee who comes to the platform of ruchi starts chanting Shuddha Nam. There are 3 types of Nam. There is Namaprad, offensive chanting. There is Namabhas, offenseless chanting. And there is Shuddha Nam, when we chant for the pleasure of Krishna. Pure name, Shuddha Nam. Shuddha Nam chanting starts from the stage of ruchi. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. From ruchi, we go to the next phase of spiritual evolution, spiritual development. And that is called asakti, where we become very attached to Krishna now. We cannot live without Krishna. We are like a fish, and Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. Krishna is the ocean of mercy. We cannot leave Krishna ever. There is no question of fall down. Then there is bhav, which is the preliminary stage of prem. Symptoms of love start manifesting in the heart. That is called bhav. And then there is prem. Prem prayojan, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes. Sambandha abhideya prayojan. What is our relationship with Krishna? What is the process of realizing that relationship? And when that relationship is realized and we are acting on the platform of that relationship in perfect love, that is called prayojan, the ultimate goal of life. And that will come in the next chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prem prayojan. The ultimate platform is that of Krishna Prem. And we saw how Prem is the final 9th stage in the spiritual evolution of a sadhak practicing devotee. But where did it all start, my dear friends? It all started from Shraddha, faith. So here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us the definition of Shraddha. So let us read this verse. Verse number 22, verse number 62, chapter number 22, Madhya Lila, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita of Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Mahārāj. And all the translations and all the purports have been mercifully given to us by our beloved, revered founder Acharya. Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Ashtottar Shata Shri Śrīmad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Mahārāj Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Let us see the definition, the paribhasha of Shraddha, faith. What is faith? Shraddha shabde vishwas ko hai sudrida nischaya Krishne bhakti kaile sarva karma kretahaya. Shraddha is confident, firm faith. Shraddha shabde vishwas kahe sudrida nischaya. Sudrida nischaya, firm faith and confidence. Vishwas, confidence. Sudrida nischaya, firm faith. Sudrida means very firm, strong. Nischaya, determination, faith. So what is Shraddha? Shraddha shabde means Vishwas kahe sudrida nischaya. Firm faith and confidence. In what? Shraddha in what? Can I have Shraddha in the Prime Minister or President of a nation? Can I have Shraddha in my local Member of Parliament or the Senator or the Congressman? Can I have Shraddha in my insurance policy that is going to save me? Can I have Shraddha in my employer? Can I have Shraddha in my 401k? Can I have Shraddha in my stocks and savings account? Can I have Shraddha in my property? Can I have Shraddha in gold? Gold is gold standard. Can I have Shraddha in my gold investments? No. These are all fallible soldiers. They will fail us. This body itself, to whom all these things belong, is going to fail us. This body is going to fail us. All these assets are going to fail us. All these relationships are temporary. They are going to break. No. Shraddha word Shraddha or faith cannot be used in relationship to all these. In fact, Shraddha cannot be even used for the demigods, the Devatas and the Devis. No. Look at the second line. Krishna Bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hai. Shraddha or faith can only be applied to Krishna. Vishwa Sudrida Nishchay. Confident, firm faith that Krishna Bhakti kaile, if I render loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, sarva karma krita hai. Automatically everything will be achieved. Everything will be achieved. It includes everything. Service to Krishna includes everything. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. This can lead us to prema. This type of faith. What faith? That Krishna Bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hai. By rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Everything is included. Then I don't have to do any Devi or Devata Upasana. There is no need for any demigod worship. Because Krishna's worship includes everything. And it will come in more detail in the subsequent verses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. So I was blabbering in between. So let me read Srila Prabhupada's perfect words once more. Just the translation. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. To get along the trajectory of devotional service, you want to get to Krishna Prem. It starts with Shraddha. This is Shraddha. Confident, firm faith that by serving Krishna, loving Krishna, everything is achieved. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. So Shraddha is not just faith. It is also confidence. In who? In Krishna. That is Shraddha. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. When one engages in the Lord's devotional service, means Krishna's devotional service, Krishna Bhakti. See, Prabhupada is translating these Bengali words, Krishna Bhakti, as Lord's devotional service. See how perfect Srila Prabhupada's purports, how loyal Srila Prabhupada's purports are to the original author, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. In simple English, universal language, Srila Prabhupada is explaining. Same essential message. When one engages in Lord's devotional service, he is to be understood to have performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary living entities, and demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Prabhupada is saying all these things, but each and every word that Srila Prabhupada is saying is going to be substantiated by Srimad Bhagavatam in the subsequent verses. Srila Prabhupada's purports are non-different from the Vedic literature. Therefore, one of the Namaprads, Shruti Shastra Nindanam, Srila Prabhupada has translated into English as to blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version. So one should not think that easy journey to other planets or a second chance are not Vedic literatures. That is offensive to think like this. They are Vedic literatures because they are given to us by a pure Acharya, authentic Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and they are in line with the Vedic teachings. Srila Prabhupada's purports are Shabda Brahma. They are Vedic literatures. And we will all see every thing that Srila Prabhupada is saying, every statement Srila Prabhupada is making is substantiated by verses from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We will see that. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, it is to be understood that he has performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary living entities, demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibility separately. It is automatically done. Fruitive activity, karma kand, is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activity or karma kand. The best achievement of all fruitive activity, because why Prabhupada is focusing on karma? Because look at the verse. The verse says, Sarva karma krita hai. Everybody is acting in this world. Everybody is working in this world. So who should we work for? We should work for the satisfaction of Krishna. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. If Krishna is satisfied, everyone is satisfied. So Prabhupada is focusing, elaborating on this word karma. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activity. The best achievement of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life. And this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in Lord's service. This is Param Drishtwani Vartate. If we are attached to Krishna's service, then naturally we will become detached. If someone is holding a suitcase and we give them another suitcase, take this suitcase, this is more valuable. That suitcase only has some tissue rolls and some ordinary things. But this has got all your money, all your jewels, and most importantly, your deities are there. So we have to drop that suitcase to take this suitcase because it's more important. So if one takes up to the loving service of Radha and Krishna, then the other material activities that we were holding, automatically we will have to drop them. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. This detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee who is firmly engaged in Krishna's service, Lord's service. We have to be engaged in Krishna's service. Now see, Srila Prabhupada made so many statements in the purport. Everything is there, substantiated by Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Very famous verse. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 4.31.14. Yatha taror mula nishechanena triptyanti tat skandha bhujopashakha pranopahara chayathendriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanam achyuteja. Yatha taror mula nishechanena. Just like if you water the root, mula, of a taror, of a tree, if you water the root of a tree, nishechanena, triptyanti tat skandha bhujopashaka, the branches, the leaves, everything tat of that tree will be triptyanti, will be satisfied automatically. Okay, this is one example that by watering the root of the tree, the whole tree, the branches, twigs, leaves, everything is hydrated, everything is nourished. One example. Second example, pranopahara chayathendriyana. If we give ahar, if we give food to the stomach, from there all the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream and the whole body, all the indriya, everything, karmendriya, jnanendriya, everything is nourished. We don't have to feed the ear separately, the nose separately, the eye separately. No, just feed the stomach and all the indriyas of the body will be automatically nourished from the stomach. So Krishna is the root of the tree, Krishna is the stomach. Tathaiva. Similarly, sarvarhanam achyuteja. Achyuteja. If you do puja, if you worship Lord Achyut, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then everything is automatically achieved. All the demigods are automatically satisfied. Text 64. Shraddhavana janahaya bhakti adhikari uttama madhyama kanishtha shraddha anusari. So we discussed the definition of shraddha. What is shraddha? Shraddha is firm faith and confidence that by serving Krishna, I don't have to do anything else. It is the prema pumarto mahan. It is the highest achievement. It is the highest achievement. It is Shreya. Shreya Chandrika. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam. Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Worshipping Krishna, pleasing Krishna, being engaged in Krishna consciousness is Shreya. It is the highest beneficial activity. So that is Shraddha. Having this faith and confidence that Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Krita hai. By serving Krishna, everything is achieved. Now, based on this Shraddha, Shraddhavan Janahaya Bhakti Adhikari. Based on this Shraddha, we get Adhikar, we get eligibility in Bhakti. Shraddhavan Janahaya Bhakti Adhikari. How do we get Adhikar in Bhakti? How do we get eligibility in Bhakti? What is the meaning of Adhikar? Adhikar means when someone meets the requirement of second grade, then that student is promoted to third grade. You meet all the educational requirements of second grade, you go to third grade, you go to fourth grade. You meet all the requirements of fourth grade, you are promoted to fifth grade. That is called adhikar, eligibility. You become eligible to go to the next grade. Similarly, in bhakti, how do you progress from Shraddha to Krishna Prem? It is based on maturity. It is based on the strengthening of that Shraddha. Shraddhavan jana hai bhakti adhikari. We get adhikar, we get eligibility into bhakti based on our faith. Shraddha. Shraddhavan jana hai bhakti adhikari. What are the gradations? Uttama, Madhyama, Kanishta. Shraddha anusari. Shraddha anusar. Shraddha ke anusar. According to our faith, according to our Shraddha, we are Kanishta, Madhyam or Uttam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this. A faithful devotee is a truly eligible candidate for loving service of the Lord. What is the meaning of loving service of the Lord? Bhakti. See how Prabhupada's English phrases correspond to the original words in the Shastra. Bhakti is loving devotional service. Truly eligible candidate means adhikari. Adhikari. They have adhikar. Seva adhikar diye. Koro nija dasi. We pray to Tulsi Maharani. Give me seva adhikar to Radha and Krishna. Give me eligibility to worship Radha and Krishna. So bhakti adhikari. How do we get adhikar in bhakti, in loving devotional service of Krishna? How do we get eligibility? Shraddhavan jana hai shraddha anusari. According to one's faith. We are divided into Uttam, Madhyam and Kanishta. The word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the Samam Bonam. Srila Prabhupada names the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam as Samam Bonam. The eternal truth and absolute transcendence. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti. That is Samam Bonam. Vasudeva sarvamiti. That is the meaning of faith. In the interest of time, I will not be going very much in detail into the translations and the purports, but we did read one translation and purport in full. That should be the standard. We should never sit on the Vyasasana and speak Harikatha without reading Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport in full, or at least depending on the size of the purport. We should never do that. We should never sit and give a Sunday feast class without referring to Prabhupada's books, just speaking what is there in the heart. No, that is not the standard. We speak according to Shastra and Sadhu Guru. Sadhu Guru is Srila Prabhupada, Shastra is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. So we read a verse original from the Shastra, we read Srila Prabhupada's translation and Srila Prabhupada's purport, and then we speak based upon that. So we read this 60-second verse with purport. So it is okay for us, in the interest of time, to not go in detail in the purports. So based on Shraddha, a Bhakti Adhikari, a devotee, is categorized into Uttam, Madhyam, Kanishta. Text 65. So what are the definitions of Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam? Let us start from the top. Uttam Adhikari. Shastra Yukte Sunipuna Dridha Shraddhaja Uttama Adhikari se Taraye Samsar. Who is Uttama Adhikari? One who is expert in logic. Shastra Yukte Sunipuna. Nipuna means expert. Sunipuna means very expert. Very expert in knowing what is the essence of the Shastra. Shastra Yukte does not mean one has to know Sanskrit or Bengali or Hindi. No, not at all. We have gone to English medium schools. The medium of instruction has been English in our schools and colleges. We have studied English grammar, English language properly. No worries. Srila Prabhupada is Senapati Bhakta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is our founder Acharya. He has given to us in the English language. Just by understanding Srila Prabhupada's translations and purports, what Srila Prabhupada is saying in his books and in Srila Prabhupada's recorded lectures, video lectures and audio lectures, if you simply hear in English what Srila Prabhupada is saying, one may not know a word of Sanskrit or Bengali. One knows English, just hear Srila Prabhupada in English and read Prabhupada's books in English. If you understand the essence of what is happening, what the scriptures are teaching us, what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us, what we are supposed to do, we understand it and we follow it in our life, that is Shastra Yukte. If one knows Sanskrit, Bengali, very good, no problem. That will help. It will definitely help in the study of scriptures. But it is not essential. One should not think that just because a pure devotee does not know Sanskrit or Hindi or Bengali, that person cannot be an Uttam Adhikari. And to become Uttam Adhikari, one has to quote verses. That is not a necessity. We can have an Acharya like Srimad Gaur Govinda Swāmī Mahārāj, who substantiates every word with a Bengali or Sanskrit quotation very expertly, because he can read in Bengali, read in Oriya, read in Sanskrit, knows the Dev Bhasha, the original languages. So one can be an Acharya like Srimad Gaur Govinda Swāmī Mahārāj, or one can be someone like His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swāmī Mahārāj. Both are pure devotees, both are Acharyas. Shripad Ayendra Prabhu also did not know Sanskrit. In fact, when you listen to his Sanskrit, you listen to his Bhagavatam classes recorded at Krishna Balaram Mandir, he will tell, Ram Rai Prabhu, can you please read the Sanskrit? he won't even attempt to read the Sanskrit. And then he would just... So the point I'm trying to make is Sanskrit knowledge, Bengali knowledge, yes, it's helpful in the study of scriptures. It is helpful in memorizing verses, helpful in understanding, helpful in explaining also. But is it necessary? Is it absolutely essential? Is it a prerequisite for getting Krishna? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. You know English? Just listen to Srila Prabhupada's English lectures, read Prabhupada's English translations and purports, and you can get Shastra Yukti. You can know Shastra Yukti. Because Shastra Yukti means to understand the revealed scriptures properly. You should be able to understand, you should be able to explain it nicely in your language. Shastra Yukti is Sunipan, very expert in understanding the essence of the scriptures. And Drida Shraddhajar, and one who has firm faith in Krishna. So who is a Uttamadhikari? He has firm faith, Drida Shraddha, he has firm faith in Krishna, and he has Shastra Yukti. He very expertly, Sunipun, very expertly knows what the scriptures are saying. What is the message of Bhagavad Gita? What is the message of Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita? And is living life based on those teachings. Has full faith in Krishna. That is Uttamadhikari. And such a Uttamadhikari, say Taraya Samsar, can deliver the whole world. Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dhare Jane Jane. Shri Devakinandan Prabhu, in his Vaishnav Geet, he has written that each and every associate of Mahaprabhu has the power to deliver a Brahmanda, entire universe. Brahmanda Tarite Shakti Dhare Jane Jane. These are the associates of Mahaprabhu. Each associate of Mahaprabhu is a Jagat Guru. Taraya Samsar. A pure devotee, because they are pure devotees, Uttamadhikaris, they can deliver the whole world. Firm faith, unshakable faith, and Sunipun, very expert in Shastra Yukti. Knows what the scriptures are saying, regardless of the language. Knows it. Then this is same principle from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in Sanskrit. Okay, so we'll skip that in the interest of time. Text 67. Now, who is a Madhyamadhikari? Shastra Yukti nahi jane, Drida Shraddhavan, Madhyama Adhikari se Mahabhagyavan. So, who is a Madhyamadhikari? Shastra Yukti nahi jane. He is not very expert. It's not that he doesn't know at all Shastra. No, a Madhyamadhikari knows Shastra, but may not be very expert. You can confuse them. You can confuse them through argument. So they have knowledge, but they are not Sunipurna. So Shastra Yukti nahi jani. They are not very expert, very learned in the scriptures, revealed scriptures. But Drida Shraddhavan. But they are very, very strong faith. You can get into an argument with a Madhyamadhikari and confuse the Madhyamadhikari or even defeat the Madhyamadhikari in philosophical debate. But you cannot shake their faith 1 inch. You can beat them down, defeat them, but they will still chant Hare Krishna. They are not going to leave Krishna. You try to convince them that you should worship this Baba, that Baba, and argue, shoot arguments at them, and they may not be able to defeat you in a debate. But that does not mean that a Madhyamadhikari will start following your Baba or this, that. No. You continue to chant Hare Krishna. Because why? Because Shraddhavan. He is fixed in his Drida Shraddhavan. He has got firm faith. So Madhyamadhikari has firm faith, but in contrast to Uttamadhikari, a Madhyamadhikari does not have Shastra Yukti. He is not very expert in argument and logic based on revealed scriptures. That is Madhyamadhikari. Say Mahabhagyavan. But he is still very fortunate. Why Bhagyavan? Because he is Shraddhavan. Because he has faith in Krishna and he is doing Krishna bhajan. So he is Mahabhagyavan. Whereas Uttamadhikari is Taraya Samsar. He can deliver the whole world. Can a Madhyamadhikari Taraya Samsar? No. Madhyamadhikari cannot deliver the whole world. But Madhyamadhikari is still very fortunate because he is engaged in Krishna Bhakti. Okay. Then again, that same principle is taught in Sanskrit language. Now, what is a Kanishtha-adhikari? Text 69. Jahara komala shraddha se kanishtha jan krama krame teho bhakta haibe uttam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explaining who is a Kanishtha-adhikari, who is a neophyte devotee. Kanishtha-adhikari is a person who does not have Shastra Yukti naturally, because a Madhyam also does not have Shastra Yukti Sunipun. Madhyamadhikari also does not have. So there is no question of a Kanishta having Shastra Yukti. So Kanishtha-adhikari does not have Shastra Yukti, but even the Shraddha, whereas a Madhyamadhikari has Drida Shraddha, very firm, strong faith, a Kanishtha-adhikari has Komal Shraddha. Komal Shraddha. Shraddha is there, but it is weak. It is delicate. It can be destroyed. If a Kanishtha-adhikari associates with atheists or anti-theists or even agnostics, it is possible that a Kanishtha-adhikari may lose faith because the faith is Komal. It is very soft, pliable. It's not drid, it's not strong. It's a weak faith. Jahara Komala Shraddha se Kanishtha jan. One whose faith is weak is a Kanishtha. But the process of bhakti is so beautiful that krame krame teho bhakta haibe uttam. Bhakti is so beautiful that krame krame, step by step, gradually, he will rise to become Uttam Adhikari. If he learns what is Sharanagati, he will become Uttam Adhikari. Kandiya bole amito adhama shikhaye Sharanagati korohe Uttam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahārāj is saying, if we learn Sharanagati, then even a Kanishtha can become a Uttam. And Bhakti teaches Sharanagati. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam. Our Shastra, our Acharyas, they are teaching Sharanagati. So a Kanishtha will soon become Uttam if a Kanishtha remains in the association of devotees. If the Kanishtha leaves association of devotees, Kanishtha will fall down. That is the difference between Kanishtha, Madhyam and Uttam. I hope this is clear. Kanishtha-adhikari has weak faith, does not have Shastra Yukti, does not have expertise in the revealed scriptures. Madhyamadhikari has very strong faith, but may not be very expert in the revealed scriptures. Does not have Shastra Yukti, but has Sudrida, which has a Drida Shraddha, strong faith. And Uttamadhikari has strong faith, Drida Shraddha, and also knows Shastra Yukti, is very, very expert in understanding and explaining the meaning of the revealed scriptures and their essential message. That is Uttamadhikari. Now, same thing is taught again based on the 11th canto verses. Who is a Bhagavatottama, who is a Uttamadhikari, who is a Madhyama, and who is a Kanishtha or Prakrit Bhakta. These are quotations from the 11th canto. Now, verse 75. After explaining the definitions of Kanishtha-adhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari, and they are all based on their development of faith, Shraddha, and Shastra Yukti. Two criteria. Shraddha and Shastra Yukti. Verse 75. Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sharire Krishna Bhakte Krishnera Guna Sakali Sanchare. Now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making a statement that Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sharire. In the body of a Vaishnava, all the great good qualities are present. A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. Krishna Bhakte Krishnera Guna Sakala Sanchare. Why? Because all the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in a Krishna's devotee. Krishna is so kind that he gives his own divine qualities to the devotee. So a devotee can never become God, but a devotee can become godly. Srila Prabhupada said that. Somebody told Srila Prabhupada, we can become God, I am God. Prabhupada said no. A jiva, a living entity, can never become God, but a living entity can become godly. This is the praman, this is the proof, this is the meaning of it. That we can develop Krishna's qualities. 50 qualities we can develop in minute quantity. And that is good enough for us. But we can never become Krishna, who has got 64 qualities in full. Krishna's qualities are unlimited. Unlimited qualities. Achintya guna swarupam, govindam adi purusham taham bhajami. But 50 qualities we can develop by Krishna's mercy. So it is said that all the good qualities of Krishna are there in a Vaishnava. Now look at this verse. This is the proof from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the praman. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavata kinchana sarvair gunas tatra samasate surah harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahihi. Very beautiful verse. This verse should be memorized. This verse is the proof from Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12, where it is said that Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat akinchana. Those sincere devotees who are engaged in the devotional service of Bhagavan, Krishna, sarvair gunas tatra samasate sura. Sura, all the demigods, whatever good qualities are there, they are present in a devotee. Sarvair gunas tatra samasate, they are present. Okay, then what about somebody who is not a bhakta? Okay, harav abhaktasya, one who is not a hari bhakta, one who is abhakta, non-devotee, kuto mahadguna. What good qualities can be there? What good qualities can be there in a non-devotee? A non-devotee may be very polite. A non-devotee may be very charitable. A non-devotee may be very beautiful. A non-devotee may be very expert in their profession. This is all right. But from a eternity point of view, from a transcendental point of view, from the point of view of the soul, is there any value to these qualities? Is there any value to this mundane charity, to this mundane good manners? Sorry, thank you. Is there any meaning to it from the point of view of transcendence? I'm asking. Laukik point of view, from a day-to-day basis point of view, from a civic point of view, yes, there is value. They are good citizens of the state. But from a spiritual point of view, from a transcendence point of view, from the eternity point of view, from the point of view of who we really are, spiritual souls, from the point of view of Nitya Dharma, from the point of view of Jaiva Dharma, is there any value to these so-called good qualities which have no tinge of bhakti, which have no tinge of Krishna consciousness? There is zero value, there is no value. Kuto mahadguna abhaktasya. How can an abhakta, non-devotee, have any mahagun, any real good qualities? Not possible. Why? Manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Because wo manmani acharan karte hai. They have no good, because they are engaged in mental concoction. All their democracy, capitalism, socialism, communism, veganism, and whatnot, libertarianism, you name it. It is all a mental concoction. It is not based on what Krishna wants us to do. It is independent thinking. Manorathena. Whatever comes in their mind, they come up with some philosophy. Chicken soup for this soul, chicken soup for that soul. This is all concoction. These are all temporary, naimittic dharmas. From the point of view of Nitya Dharma, they have no validity. Therefore, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that a devotee has all good qualities, whereas a non-devotee has, from a point of view of eternity, transcendence, there is no good quality in a non-devotee. No matter how polite they are, how charitable they are, how expert they are, how attractive and charming they may be for the world, how many fan followings they have, Bollywood, Hollywood, pop music, this, that, sports, actually they have no good quality. From the point of view of the spirit soul, from the point of view of transcendence, there is no good quality. And therefore we should not associate with them. Asat Sanga Tyag Ei Vaishnava Achar, Mahaprabhu says. It's very important. Siddhanta. Now, text 77. Sei saba guna haya Vaishnava lakshan, saba kaha na jaya kari digdarshan. All these transcendental qualities are the characteristics of pure Vaishnavas, and they cannot be fully explained. But I shall try to point out some of the important qualities. 26 qualities Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned in verses 78, 79, and 80. So question may be asked, you said that Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavad Akinchana Sarvair Gunas Tatra Samasate Sura. All the good qualities, godly qualities come in a devotee. Acha, what are these qualities? Can you please tell us? If that is a question, then Kaviraj Goswami is quoting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Sei Saba Guna Hai Vaishnava Lakshan. These are all Vaishnava Lakshan. These are all characteristics of pure devotees. Saba kaha na jaye. It is not possible to count because Krishna's qualities are unlimited and therefore a devotee's good qualities are also unlimited. Saba kaha na jaye. I cannot say all of them. Kari digdarshan. But I'll give you a hint. I'll point out some important qualities. Here are 26 qualities. Hari Bol. Text 78 and 80. Kripalu akrita droha satya sarasam nidosha vadanya mridu shuchi akinchan sarvopakaraka shanta krishnaika sharan akama anihasthira vijita shadgan mita bhuk apramatta manada amani gambhira karuna maitra kavi dakshamoni. 26 qualities Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has enumerated here. What are they? Devotees of Krishna, they are always merciful. They are always merciful. Kripalu. Which is the first quality, Kripalu. They are always merciful. Then, Akrita Droha. They don't become anybody's enemy. In other words, they are very humble. They don't take enmity towards anybody. Drohi nahi bante kisi ke. Akrit droha. They are humble, meek. Satya sar. They are always very truthful. Always truthful. Satya sar. Sama. And they are equal to all. And they are equal in the dualities of life. Nidosha. They are faultless. Look at the translation and look at the verse. Nidosh. They are faultless. Vadanya. They are magnanimous. Because Mahaprabhu is magnanimous. Namo Maha Vadanyaya. Mahaprabhu Bhaktagana also. Mahaprabhu's devotees also. Vadanya. Magnanimous. Magnanimous. Mridu. They are very mild and sweet. Shuchi. They are very clean. Akinchan. They have no material possessions. In the material world, people are proud of material possessions. I've got a yacht. I've got a holiday home. What do you call it? Vacation home. Rental property. I have got this. I have got that. I've got a Tesla. A friend of mine was telling me recently, Abhay, I have achieved everything that I always wanted to achieve. I come from a poor country. I came to this country to live the American dream. Abhay, I got a 6-bedroom, 3-car garage, brand new custom built home, man, in a very good school district in East Cobb. I've got Tesla, I've got 2 kids. I'm living the American dream, he was telling me. He specifically emphasized on the Tesla. That's why I meant. So people gauge their success in this world based on material acquisitions, material assets. But who is a devotee? Akinchan. No material possessions. No material possessions. Sarva upakaraka. A devotee sarva upakaraka. Sab pe upkar karte hai. They perform welfare work for everyone, not just for their disciples or people of their mutt or their society or their community. No. Sarva upakaraka. They work for the welfare of everyone. That's a devotee. Shanta. They are peaceful. Krishnaika sharanam. And they are completely surrendered to Krishna only. Krishna eka sharanam. Only to Krishna. One pointed. Ananyas chintayantu mam. Sarvadharan pariteja mam ekam. Sharanam Vraja. Only to me, Krishna says. So a pure devotee is Krishna Eka Sharanam. Krishna Eka Sharana. Surrendered to Krishna only. Akam, does not have any material desires. Desireless. Akam. No material desires. Aniha. Aniha means very fixed up and indifferent to material acquisitions. Aniha. Udasin. Indifferent to material acquisitions. Then sthira. Aniha. So, where is it? Akam, aniha, sthira. Sthira means fixed in devotional service. Fixed in devotional service. And then Vijita Shad Guna. Vijita means to conquer. Shad Guna means the 6 bad qualities. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego. Completely control the 6 bad qualities. Vijita Shad Guna. That is the next quality. Then Mita Bhuk. Does not overeat. Eats only what is required. And only eats prasada. Mita Bhuk. Diet is controlled. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyama. Like that. Doesn't eat more than required and eats only Krishna prasad. Apramatta, not inebriated. Inebriated means intoxicated. What is the most common intoxicant on the path of spirituality? Pride. Pride, pramatta. But they are not intoxicated, not inebriated. Apramatta. And manada. Manada. Mana means respect. Da means to give. Dadati. Manada. They give respect, they're respectful. They are amani. They don't expect any respect without false prestige. They are amani. They are gambhir, grave. Karuna, they are compassionate. Maitra, they are friendly. Kavi, they are poetic and expert. Learned. Kavi also means learned. And daksha, they are expert. And mauni, they are silent. These are the 26 qualities of a devotee. 26 qualities that manifest in a devotee of Krishna. So this is Mahaprabhu teaching us. Now let us see how His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj manifested all these 26 qualities. Are you all eager to hear? So let's get started. Actually, what I have prepared is, for each quality, I have prepared example from Srila Prabhupada's Leela. From Srila Prabhupada's example, because Srila Prabhupada is a perfect acharya. And corresponding anecdote, pastime from the life of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. But I have another service coming up at 12 o'clock and it's already past 11. So we don't have time. So I will only speak about Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj's pastimes. So please forgive me for that. But Srila Prabhupada will be most pleased with the glorification of his dear son, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So we will discuss how Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj exemplifies these 26 good qualities. First quality is Kripalu, merciful. I was listening to a lecture of His Grace Radhesham Prabhu from NVCC, Pune. And Radhesham Prabhu was saying that he had visited Ujjain temple, which is a very wonderful project developed by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So Radhesham Prabhu went there and he was supposed to leave one morning. So he had to take a train back to Pune from Ujjain. And he had a desire to meet Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj and get personal time with Mahārāj. He wanted to ask some questions. So he made an appointment. And Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, yeah, before you go to the railway station, before you board your train, you come and meet me in my room and we'll sit down for a few minutes and we'll talk. I'll give you personal time. I want to see all of you, so I'm going to change the view to gallery. Okay, thank you. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, you come to my room and we'll spend some time. So at the appointed time, Radhesham Prabhu went to the room of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj had gone to take snan. I think Mahārāj had taken a morning walk and A devotee is very clean. After morning walk, there is some perspiration. So Mahārāj went to take a snan, bath. So Radheshyam Prabhu comes, and Radheshyam Prabhu is on time crunch. He has to leave. So he comes, and then the leading disciple of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, His Holiness Bhakti Prem Swāmī Mahārāj, he was there. And he told Radheshyam Prabhu, they are very good friends. So His Holiness Bhakti Prem Mahārāj told Radheshyam Prabhu that Guru Mahārāj is taking snan. So I don't know what to tell you. So Radheshyam Prabhu said, okay, I have to go pack my bags, and I have to do few things, and then I have to leave for the railway station. So maybe I'll try to meet Mahārāj during some other visit, or when Mahārāj comes to Pune, I'll meet him there. So I'll take your leave. So Bhakti Prem Mahārāj said, okay. So Radheshyam Prabhu offered his obeisances in the direction of Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, towards the bathroom. He offered his obeisances, got up, and he went to pack his bags, and then whatever little few things he had to make, a few phone calls, and then he took his bag and came down to the car that Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj had arranged for Radheshyam Prabhu to give him a ride from the Ujjain temple to the railway station. Radheshyam Prabhu goes, puts his bag, and jumps into the back seat of the car. And lo and behold, next to him sitting is His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So Radheshyam Prabhu was shocked. Mahārāj, you are sitting in the car. Said, yes, I was waiting for you. Said, how come, Mahārāj? Said, you came to meet me, but I was having a snan. And then I thought you wanted to speak to me, so I have to give you time. So the railway station is around half an hour drive. So we have good half an hour. Both of us can talk. I will come with you to the railway station. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, the personal secretary and personal cook of Srila Prabhupada, who received sannyas diksha from Srila Prabhupada, is accompanying Radheshyam Prabhu, simple brahmachari, to the railway station, because he had promised we'll spend some time together. This is called kripa. So kripalu. Aisa nahi ki I am a sannyasi, you are just a brahmachari. When I took initiation from Srila Prabhupada, you were probably in your mother's womb. No. You wanted to meet me? I will extend myself. I'll come with you to the railway station. Even though I don't have any work in the near the railway station, I'll come with you. This is called kripa. This is mercy. Very merciful. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Second quality is sthir. A devotee of Krishna is very sthir, very steady, very stable. And this, I have got a example from the broader ISKCON society and also a personal example. So many challenges came. Those of us who have been in ISKCON for some time know. Whenever an acharya leaves, there is difficulty in the institution of the acharya. And this is natural. Why it is natural? Because it is the acharya who is holding the institution. The acharya is the single pillar holding the institution. When the acharya leaves, there is going to be some disturbance. Happened when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared. Happened when Srila Prabhupada disappeared. Happened when Srila Gaur Govind Mahārāj disappeared. Whenever an acharya leaves, there is disturbance. It is natural. When Srila Prabhupada left, so many, more than 5,000 disciples, tens and thousands of well-wishers, devotees, 108 temples. And now there is no acharya. The founder acharya had left. Fortunately, the followers of Srila Prabhupada obeyed Srila Prabhupada's orders, and they had the GBC already formed under Srila Prabhupada's guidance in 1975, and GBC continued to oversee all the management of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. Still, there were so many problems. Devotees who had difficulty in their practice of Krishna consciousness. There were lawsuits. There were problems in the Gurukul. There were people who misunderstood certain letter of Srila Prabhupada, and they started saying that Prabhupada is the last initiating Guru in the Parampara. In this way, there were many challenges that came after Srila Prabhupada left. But His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, along with several of his god brothers and god sisters, is an example of sthirata, steadiness. They held the dhara of the parampara. Otherwise, what will happen to the parampara? It's a great responsibility. Srila Prabhupada is an acharya. And the parampara continues from acharya to acharya to acharya. Parampara doesn't continue acharya to madhyam adhikari or acharya to a kanishta adhikari. Parampara will break if there is no uttam adhikari. But Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj and his god brothers and god sisters, they have continued the dhara. They maintained that dhara. Never there was any problem because they held on to the parampara dhara with their purity, with their steadiness, sthirata. I have a personal experience also of the quality called sthira, steadiness. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, fixed, sthir. In the year 2015, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, in the month of Kartik, was coming to Atlanta. And somehow in 2015, in Kartik, most of the leading devotees from Atlanta, senior devotees, they went to Vrindavan for Kartik or Mayapur for Kartik. And very few devotees were there. 2015. And Mahārāj was landing in the evening. He was taking a long flight somewhere from India. He was coming and he was landing in the evening. And Mahārāj had respiratory infection. He had cold, cough, fever when he started from India. And you can only imagine on the flight, there was nothing. Mahārāj practically fasted throughout the flight, just kept chanting. Month of Kartik, he did not want to eat any outside food. He didn't have much appetite. He was very weak. He comes and he just wants to go to the temple and take a rest. Mahārāj always stayed in the temple, being a sannyasi. But Mahārāj had also promised that when he lands in Atlanta, he would come to our home. He'll come to our ashram and accept prasadam and then go to the temple. So the airport is here, south. Temple is little north of the airport and our house is way north. So for Mahārāj, he lands at the airport, he has to go way north and then come back south to the temple. So it was not on the way, it was inconvenient. But we had cooked for Mahārāj. And Radha had taken off from work that day because Mahārāj was coming in the evening and whole afternoon she was cooking for Mahārāj. So Mahārāj lands and we did not know that Mahārāj is not well, feeling well. So Mahārāj lands and he wants to go to the temple. But then Shveta Prabhu told Mahārāj that Mahārāj, there is an invitation for dinner at such and such devotee's house. So Mahārāj says, okay, we have given our word, so we'll go. Even though Mahārāj was not feeling well. So when Prabhuji told me, Shveta Prabhu told me that Mahārāj is not well, but we are coming, make sure everything is ready and don't keep Mahārāj waiting. Mahārāj will take prasadam and then immediately leave because he has to take a rest. But again, tomorrow morning, Mahārāj wants to be there for Mangal Aarti, 4:30. Mahārāj very strict. So I said, just take Mahārāj to the temple. We will pack the prasadam and we'll bring it to the temple. I told Shveta Prabhu. So Prabhuji told Mahārāj. Mahārāj said, no. Because my mother-in-law had also come. So Mahārāj said, no, he has got children also. So I will meet his children. I will meet his mother-in-law. I will meet the whole family. If he brings prasad, he will come alone. So I will come and I will meet the whole family. And also I want to sing Damodar Ashtakam in their house. So Mahārāj was not well. He came. I remember he came, he did Achaman, he sat down at the harmonium and he sang beautiful Damodar Ashtakam. And then he offered Aarti. Then he came and sat and took prasadam. So steady, even though he was not feeling well, because he had promised, he did that. So devotee is very sthir, unshakable, sthir, unshakable. I have given my word, I will do it. Come what may. Number 3 is Manada. He is very respectful. There used to be a devotee in Atlanta. Now he has been transferred somewhere else. I don't know where he is. I have met him only few times. His name is Ganapati Krishna Prabhu. Ganapati Krishna Prabhu from Atlanta. And what had happened was Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, I don't remember the details, but when Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj entered the Nitya Leela, in one of the offering programs, Ganapati Krishna Prabhu made this offering. I remember hearing it, but I may be little off as far as the details are concerned. But what happened was Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was supposed to go somewhere, and he had a layover in Atlanta, and Ganapati Krishna Prabhu was supposed to take prasadam. I think there was a 2.5 hour layover in Atlanta airport, something like that. So he was supposed to go, but then Maharaj's travel plans changed. There was some urgent need somewhere, so Maharaj was taking a direct flight there, and he was not going to go through Atlanta airport. So Maharaj, through his assistant, conveyed it to Ganapati Krishna Prabhu that you don't have to bring prasadam on such and such a date, because I'm not coming to Atlanta. I'm taking a direct flight to my destination. So it was conveyed, and Ganapati Krishna Prabhu was not even initiated that time. He was a new devotee, and he accepted that. Okay, Maharaj plans change, it's okay. And suddenly he was surprised. His phone rang. He answered, said Hare Krishna, and said, Hare Krishna, this is Bhakti Charu Swāmī. It was Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. And he apologized to Ganapati Krishna Prabhu that, sorry, I know you must have made plans, but on that day I will not be coming through Atlanta. But in my next visit to Atlanta, you can come and meet me, and you can cook for me also if you like. But this time it will not be possible because I'm not going through Atlanta. So Ganapati Krishna was saying, what was the need for Maharaj to call me? Who am I? Such an insignificant new bhakta. But Maharaj was so respectful that even to a new devotee, that Maharaj thought it was important for him himself to call and let the devotee know that my plans have changed. This is mana, giving respect to everyone. Fourth is Maitra. Friendly. Devotee is very friendly. Now, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, when he took sannyas from Srila Prabhupada in 1976, I don't even know what I was doing in my previous life. This life started in 1980. So I was not even born. I was in the last 4 years of my previous birth, eating meat, breaking the regulative principles. Or maybe I was an animal. I don't know. So senior, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj is. And in 2019, just 1 year before Maharaj entered Nitya Leela, in 2019, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj came to Atlanta. Maharaj came twice, I believe. He came for Janmashtami in August, and before that he came in June for the Rath Yatra also. And both the times Maharaj accepted invitation and came home. And Maharaj liked the way Radha Bhav makes pizza and mango cheesecake. So Maharaj came during the Rath Yatra time, came home, and he really liked the pizza. And Maharaj was a very expert cook. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, personally trained by Srila Prabhupada. Mother Jamuna Devi, Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, these were devotees. They were personally trained by Srila Prabhupada. They were very expert cooks. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, he said that he really liked the cooking of Radha Bhav. And he said, I will come again when I come during Janmashtami. And when he came, Ajay Govind Prabhu had come all the way from North Carolina also that time, during one of those trips. And there were other devotees also. And Maharaj sat down after Prasadam, and Maharaj looked at me and Radha Bhav and asked, does Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj ever come to Atlanta? So we became very morose. We said, no, Maharaj doesn't come. But then I said, but Maharaj, you have come, and you coming here is non-different from my Guru Maharaj coming, because there is no difference between you and my Guru Dev. So Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he looked down and he said, I promise you that I will someday bring Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj to Atlanta. This is 2019. And therefore I still have confidence. I have Shraddha. And because Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said like that, Maharaj will come someday to Atlanta. But Maharaj said that almost like a friend. This is Maitra. So friendly. He knew what is in our hearts, and that it is something that gives pain to our heart that our Guru Maharaj never comes to Atlanta. And Maharaj asked, and like a friend, Maharaj said, okay, don't worry, Maharaj, I will bring Maharaj. He said that. I felt so touched. I said, Maharaj, it's not necessary. You have come, and it is like Maharaj has come. So I'm very happy that you came. But in a very friendly way, Maitra, in a very friendly way, he said, no, don't worry, I will bring Maharaj to Atlanta. I will ask him to come. And then he looked at Radha and he said, I will even tell Maharaj that he should come and accept prasadam cooked by you. Because you cook very nicely. I want Radhanath Swāmī also to taste, like that Maharaj said. It was very touching. Fifth quality is Sarva Upakaraka. Does upkar on everyone, benefits everyone. The pure devotee. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj made the mission of his life the instructions given to him by Srila Prabhupada. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Arana Kariho Mana Asha. Srila Prabhupada gave Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj a very important mission. Said that all the books that I have written, you should translate them into Bengali. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, again, this also goes back to the quality of sthira, steadiness. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, I think it took him around 10 years, but every day he would take rest at 9:30 p.m. And for a major period of these 10 years, he stayed in Mayapur Dham. And from 12, he would wake up at 12 midnight, and from 12:30 to 4:30, 4 hours every day, he would sit and translate Prabhupada's books from English into Bengali. And then 4:30, he would go for Mangalarti and Japa and everything. Only 3 hours, 2.5 hours he would sleep. 9:30 to 12. 2.5 hours of sleep for almost 10 years. That's how this world has got all the Bengali translations of Prabhupada's books. Sarva Upakarakaha. And not that I'm translating so I will reduce my other services. No, he was a guru, he was a GBC, he was traveling and preaching also, but mainly based in Mayapur. But wherever he went, he kept the schedule. So once Godbrother asked Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj that why you are so austere, sleep only 2.5 hours, and you are translating this with such vigor. So Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj says, I feel very close to Prabhupada when I do this service, because Prabhupada also kept awake at night. Prabhupada also translated at night. And when I follow in Prabhupada's footsteps, it is Mahajanoyana Gatha Sapanda. I feel close to Prabhupada when I'm awake at night translating. I remember how Prabhupada used to translate. Even on his, I hate to use the word deathbed, but even in Krishna Balram Mandir in November 1977, Srila Prabhupada, you can see Srila Jayadvat Swāmī Mahārāj holding the dictaphone. Srila Prabhupada's lotus mouth, and Prabhupada is dictating purports and translation of the 13th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, I want to follow in Prabhupada's footsteps. So I also translate at night. No disturbance is there, and I can concentrate. It's my service to Prabhupada. So that is Sarva Upakaraka. By giving this world books and traveling, initiating devotees, giving them shelter, giving them inspiration. Sarva Upakaraka. And actually, it is said that Ārādhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita Śrīmad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhormatamidam Tatradara Napara. Ārādhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas. The most worshipable personality is Vrajendra Nandan Krishna, Krishna of Vrindavan, Tadhama Vrindavan, and he should be worshipped in the mood of Vrindavan, Vraj Bhakti. Ramya Kajid Upasana Vrajavadhu. The most pleasing, Ramya, the most pleasing type of worship of Krishna is that performed by the Vrajavadhus, the young damsels of Vraj, the Vrajagopis. This is the Siddhanta. And what is the statement of the gopis? The greatest devotees are the gopis. And what are the gopis saying? The gopis are saying, Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Śrīmadātatam Bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida jana. The gopis are saying that Tava Kathamritam, Krishna Kathamritam is the Amrit, the life-giving nectar for Tapta Jivanam, for people who are suffering in this material world. And Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. What is the next line? Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhir Iditam. The Kavis, the expert transcendentalists, they have Kavibhir Iditam, they have written Krishna Katha. Kavis like Shukdeva Goswami and Vyasdev, they have written this Krishna Katha. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalamashapaham. And when we read this Krishna Katha written by these Kavi Bhaktas, Rasika Vaishnavas, then Kalmashapaham. Then all the Kalmash, all the problems of this material existence are destroyed. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalamashapaham Shravana Mangalam. To hear this Krishna Katha brings all auspiciousness in the life of the Baddha Jivas. Shravana Mangalam Śrīmadātatam. Shri, all the good fortune comes in the life. Bhakti comes in the life of anyone who hears Krishna Kathamrit. Shravana Mangalam Śrīmadātatam. But who should we hear? Shravana Mangalam. Who should we hear Krishna Katha from? Bhuvi grinanti. Those traveling preachers who are walking on the surface of this planet speaking Krishna Kathamrit. Shravana Mangalam. By hearing Krishna Katha from them, our lives becomes auspicious. Śrīmadātatam. And we get bhakti. Bhuvi grinanti bhurida jana. Those traveling preachers like Srila Prabhupada who give Krishna Katha to the whole world, they are bhurida jana. They are most magnanimous, most merciful. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, being an ideal disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he followed in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. He also traveled all over the world. I have met disciples of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj from Australia, from South Africa, from Europe, from America, from India, everywhere. He is also Bhuvi Grinantiye Bhurida Jana. And who in this world has made this verse of Gopi Geet famous? It is Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. It is Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Śrīmadātatam Bhuvi grinanti bhurida jana. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj made this Gopi Geet famous. Can you imagine how empowered Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj is to spread the Vani of Radharani, to spread the Vani of the Gopis all over the world? Can it be done by anyone who is not a recipient of Radharani's mercy? Only one who is a recipient of Radharani's mercy can have the Shakti to transmit and spread the message of the Gopis all over the world. Who is the duty? Who is the messenger of the Gopis? It is the Manjaris. The Gopis, Radharani speak, and Radharani's messages are transmitted all over Vraj by the Manjaris. That is their seva. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, he took the Gopi Geet and made it world famous. Tava Kathamritam. And very sensitive. He would only recite few verses, that even if you read the meaning, it is very nourishing. But those verses which are very intimate, being a confidential servant of Srila Prabhupada and Srimati Radharani, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj would never sing those verses publicly. Even when he came to our home, spontaneously, he said, I will sing Radha Kripa Katakshak Stotra. And he only sang the first 5 verses. Only sang the, because after that we should not read the meaning. Only first 5 verses he sang. Sarva Upakaraka. He is Bhurida Jana. 6th quality. So time is up. It is 11:30. We have 26 qualities. And we are going to start the 6th quality. Hare Krishna. What should we do? Prabhuji, Divyanam Prabhu? Because I also have another service at 12 o'clock. I can actually cancel that service. 12 o'clock. Should I continue, Prabhu, please?
Please, please. Good.
So, 6th quality is Akrit Droha. Akrit Droha, no enemies. A pure devotee of Krishna has no enemies. Akrit Droha. Kisi se bhi droha nahi karte. Ajata Shatru. They have no enemies. I will not go into any details, but in one congregation, somewhere in the world, I will not even name the country, somewhere in the world, there was a great turmoil. There was a revolt against the temple management. And there were 2 factions in the community. One was the faction of the Bhakti Vriksha leaders who were against the temple management. And one was the temple management, temple board members who were against the Bhakti Vriksha leaders. And the congregation was split. Because congregation had a relationship with the Bhakti Vriksha leaders because that's where they would go every Saturday. And they had a relationship with the temple because that's where they would go every Sunday. And both the groups were split. And it was a very difficult situation. The GBC intervened, but nothing happened. The matter went to ISKCON resolve, nothing happened. Special team came, investigated everything, gave recommendations, nothing happened. The congregation was split. Then Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj came. And he met with both the teams, with the Bhakti Vriksha leaders and with the temple management. And he spoke to both of them, and both parties thought that Mahārāj is on our side. Because Mahārāj came and met both the teams. Everybody said, Mahārāj to hamare side mein hai. Mahārāj is supporting us. And then Mahārāj said that for the sake of Śrīla Prabhupada, let us come together because unity is strength. And very skillfully, Mahārāj arranged a program in the temple where everybody came. These were devotees who had stopped coming to the temple. They would go to the Hindu temple, but they would not come to the ISKCON temple. But when Bhakti Charu Mahārāj came, he spoke with both of them, answered their questions, and he held that program. Everybody came in the temple. And in this way, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, without making enmity with anybody, without becoming showing favor to anybody, he brought everyone together under Śrīla Prabhupada. I have seen this with my own eyes. So beautiful. Akrit Droha. He has no enemies. Only friends. Dhira dhira jana priya priya karo. Nirmat saro pujito. And then the situation actually improved very much after Mahārāj's visit. Because everyone would say that theek hai, Mahārāj ko promise kiya hai. We have promised Mahārāj that we will cooperate. So now we have to cooperate. And they cooperated. 7th quality is Satyasar. Thoroughly truthful. I was very much inspired by Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj's kirtans, his way of reciting the verses. Abhi Divyanam Prabhu, before the katha started, you were playing the recording of Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj singing different Bhagavatam verses. So beautiful, so melodious. Unbelievable how beautifully Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj would sing. And also his katha, his presentation of Krishna consciousness. Every word that Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj spoke, his English lectures that I heard, every word is so measured, so appropriate and apt. Not one word here and there. Perfect speaker of Harikatha, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So, Satyasar, thoroughly truthful. I approached Mahārāj one year and I said, Mahārāj, I am very inspired by your classes and specifically your talks on Śrīla Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrit. So it is my desire that we should have a seminar in Atlanta on Brihad Bhagavatamrit. Please come and speak. You do Kirtan and Katha and I will arrange. So Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj was thoroughly honest with me, Satyasar. He said, yes, I will do it. But you know, there is a certain culture of hearing Krishna Katha. During Krishna Katha, there should be no disturbance. But in your temple, in ISKCON Atlanta, in the temple hall, there are 3 doors and none of the doors are locked. And devotees keep walking in, out all the time. It is very disturbing for the speaker of Harikatha. So I want you to develop a proper Shravanam culture in Atlanta. How people should, when Harikatha is going on, don't get up, don't interrupt. If children are crying, you sit in another room outside and hear the live telecast. But don't come inside a temple hall if there is going to be a disturbance, because that disturbance disturbs the concentration of all the listeners and the speakers, and it's a disservice to everyone. It's an insult to Bhagavatam. Just like during deity worship, do we do something else in the middle of deity worship? Oh, let me go eat a little snack and come. No, when we're doing deity worship, we are exclusively doing deity worship. We don't even answer nature's call. So Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj taught me that similarly, Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Krishna has come in the form of a deity. Krishna has come in the form of a book, Bhagavatam. When Bhagavatam class is going on, there should be complete absorption. Those doors should be closed. And in your temple, it is not possible. I know that, Maharaj said. So I will do Briha Bhagavatamrit seminar, but you must arrange it in an auditorium outside. And devotees should register and then they should come. We'll keep it free. But if you name it seminar, you use words like auditorium, seminar, reservation, and registration, then devotees take it seriously. They come and they will sit and hear. So he taught me this so he was very truthful with me, Satyasar, very truthful. I will do it, but your culture is not good in your temple. People don't know how to hear properly. So much disturbance is there. Kids are wailing, people are walking here and there, entering. Anybody opens the door and enters in the middle of Katha, everybody looks at who came? Oh, who left? So everybody's just doing this. There are 3 doors in 3 directions, he said. You keep the doors locked and you teach the congregation devotees that Bhagavatam has to be respected. When Katha is going on, no disturbance. So that is something I learned. He was very honest with me. Verse, quality number 8. Sama, equal in dualities. One of the Janmashtami festivals in ISKCON Atlanta. Now see, most of my interactions with Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj have been in Radha Gopinath Mandir, in Mayapur temple, and in ISKCON Atlanta. So I will be speaking from them. So in one of the Janmashtami celebrations in ISKCON Atlanta, we wanted to have a cultural event also. So we requested Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj if he could give some ideas. So Maharaj knows Mataji, who is a classical dancer, and she only dances portraying Krishna Lila. Classical, I forgot which classical dance it is. It is not Bharatnatyam or Kathak. It is something you stand on a pot or something. You stand on something and you dance. Anybody knows what is it called? It's a classical dance. So a very top, one of the top in India, classical dancers was in Atlanta. Mahārāj invited her for the ISKCON Atlanta Janmashtami celebration. And you know how it is on Janmashtami. It is so chaotic. There is kirtan, there is abhishek, there is kalash abhishek for the visitors. There are dramatic performances. There are Sunday kids, school people who are performing. Their parents are all excited. Kuchipudi, yes, Kuchipudi. That dance is called Kuchipudi. So this was a top Kuchipudi dancer who had come. Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj invited her on our request that we want to have a nice cultural event. And it was chaotic. And then there is midnight aarti. So there is shloka recitation competition. So many events are there and the whole schedule went haywire. And this dancer, classical dancer, she was invited and she was given a slot, half an hour slot to perform on stage. And she had to wait for 2 hours for her turn because all the previous events got delayed. The Abhishek went overtime. The shloka recitation went overtime. Kids were supposed to recite 2-3 verses and there were kids reciting full chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And you stop them, their parents get angry. It was such a chaos. The whole schedule went completely haywire. And this Mataji had to wait. And obviously there were people who were getting agitated. What is this? What is this? And Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj had invited that Mataji to dance. And it reflected very poorly on all of us that we had to make her wait. And even when she was performing, there was chaos. Nobody was paying attention. Everyone was distracted. Too much noise. Too many things going on. Backstage also was noisy. It was very disturbing. And I was thinking, now Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj is going to chastise us like anything. He's going to chastise us. We have really failed him. But even in such an agitating, provoking situation, Mahārāj was sama, equal in dualities. He was very sama, very equiposed. He took the temple president and me aside and very gently, in his honey sweet words and voice, he chastised us. But without getting disturbed. As a doctor, I can guarantee Mahārāj's heart rate did not go up even little bit. Mahārāj's respiratory rate did not go up. Because when we are agitated, we are breathing fast or we get tachycardia. Mahārāj was very cool and composed. But as a guru, he had to chastise us. So he chastised us very sweetly. His chastisement also was very sweet. He said, next time I will not invite anybody to Atlanta. You people don't know how to manage. You people need to learn the basics. But with a smile, very, very sweet. Very sweetly, Mahārāj. And we were literally falling at Mahārāj's feet. Mahārāj, sorry. Sorry. Then Mahārāj said, all right. Because you're apologizing, next year also I will invite. Don't worry. But make sure you plan it properly. So, sama. Nirdosh. Nidosh. Ninth quality, nidosh. Faultless. There's a very controversial topic, my dear friends. Some people, they have come out with videos. They say that Srila Prabhupada, our beloved revered founder Acharya, was poisoned, they say. There are so many videos. And the last two lectures that Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj gave, I have heard both of them. Pandav Sena from UK invited Mahārāj, and Mahārāj gave lectures on Zoom after arriving in US from India. From Ujjain, Mahārāj came to US and he gave 2 lectures on Zoom to the Pandav Sena. And in these lectures, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, he addresses this very controversial topic. Because Mahārāj was there with Prabhupada. Mahārāj was cooking for Prabhupada. Mahārāj was taking care of all needs of Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Particular bhasma.
Oh, okay. Now we can hear you back.
Yeah.
It went up.
It's my wife. She connects her AirPods and it connects to the Bluetooth, and I don't know how to prevent that.
Okay. So we missed, I think, 30 seconds or.
Okay. Yeah. So Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj explained this controversial topic very nicely in those 2 lectures. He explained that there was a Vaidya, Ayurvedic doctor, who wanted to do some service for Srila Prabhupada, and he made a bhasma and gave Srila Prabhupada. And I have seen so many cases, devotees taking bhasma and they get lead poisoning, they get arsenic poisoning, because these bhasmas, they have no quality control. And they put some metals in that, heavy metals. And it can lead to poisoning. I have seen. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj says that it is possible that maybe some heavy metal went through that bhasma, because after that Prabhupada's health deteriorated. Of course, we don't know, we will never know for sure what exactly happened. But Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj very honestly, very truthfully, he just explained what happened. That everything Prabhupada ate, as far as the personal servants were concerned, it was all very carefully prepared with very pure ingredients. But this is how it could have happened. In this way, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj is showing that how the team who so lovingly sacrificed everything to take care of Srila Prabhupada, they were nirdosh. They were faultless in their service. And another quality is Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj also, all these years, decades and decades of service to Srila Prabhupada, never once Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, never once could anyone point a finger at Mahārāj and say that Mahārāj, did this or did that. Never. Nidosh. Perfect in his Vaishnava character. In fact, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was so perfect in his character and behavior that the GBC appointed him as the minister for Vaishnava etiquette. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Sanatan Goswami that Yadyapi tumi ho jagata pavan tuma sparshe pavan hoy deva munigan tathapi bhaktera swabhav maryada rakshan maryada palan hoy sadhura bhushan. That observing Vaishnava etiquette, maryada palan hoy sadhura bhushan. The bhushan, the ornaments of a sadhu, is observance of Vaishnava etiquette. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was so cultured, so dignified, so respectable. And he was the personification of all Vaishnava etiquettes. So he was the cultural minister of ISKCON because he was culturally so keen and so expert, and also very expert in Vaishnava etiquette. So Nidosh, faultless, pure. Number 10, Vadanya, magnanimous. This is also very personal. Dear devotees, I don't know about all of you, but as far as I have experienced and I have seen, devotees go through ups and downs. I have gone through ups and downs spiritually. I started chanting and I met devotees in 1998. And then later on, I got in 2002, I started chanting 16 rounds. And before that, I started with 2 rounds, 4 rounds, like that. It was 2007 when I came to America on a student visa. And 2008 was a very tough year for me because I did not have a source of income. I didn't have money. I could not even bring Radha Bhav and Gopal to America with me. They had to leave them with her parents in Bombay because I didn't have money. I didn't have the means to take care of them. And then after coming here, I met with an accident in the second month that I was in US, and it was very bad situation. So many things happened. Even academically, I was struggling to make it in this country. And I used to really miss devotee association. I was in a city where there were no devotees. And I was staying with some very kind-hearted people, but they were not devotees. And they used to put onion. I was initiated, and they used to put onion garlic in everything that I ate. I didn't know how to survive. It's not even appropriate to cook in someone else's kitchen. So I would take whatever they gave me. I remember there would be rajma, sabji, and chawal, and I used to pick out onion from the rajma gravy. I was initiated, and somehow I used to eat. I used to feel very bad. I had even removed my kanthi mala. For months, I did not wear kanthi mala. And it was spiritual. I was spiritually at my weakest in 2008. Spiritual, when I initially came to Krishna consciousness, I was very enthusiastic. 1998, 99 were very enthusiastic years, where even though I was only chanting 4 or 5 rounds, I was preaching. Preaching to my family, preaching in the boys' hostel. Very enthusiastic years. Then I got initiated, more empowerment. It was really nice. And I was always in Bombay, where so many devotees are there. I had counselors and such a nice support system. And now suddenly in 2007, I'm here in America. No counselors, no counseling meetings, no Sunday feast, no temple, no association, nothing. It was very difficult. And even ISKCON Desire was not that well developed in 2007. Of course, there were some lectures and this was there, but it was not how it is today. On YouTube, there were no lectures in 2007. So it was very difficult, very, very low phase for me. I was at my spiritual weakest. And then I remember it was Shivratri, and I fasted all night, kept awake all night, chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The family I was staying with, they took me to the Shiva temple in Orlando Shiv Mandir. And there I did Jagaran, chanted Hare Krishna all night, and prayed to Lord Shiva and Lord Ganesh and Mother Parvati. I prayed to all 3 of them that, please, I want devotee association. I cannot survive without devotee association. And then I came home after Jagaran and I slept. Around 8 o'clock in the morning, I slept in the house of the people who were hosting me at that time. I didn't have a place of my own. And suddenly around noon, my sleep was disturbed because my cell phone rang. And in the daytime, I would not take any phone calls because it was a prepaid phone and I had to pay. Something like that. I forgot now. So I was thinking, should I answer? Should I not answer? I will lose a few dollars. But anyway, I answered. And it was a disciple of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj from Orlando. Divya Prem Mataji. That time she was just Divya. She was not initiated. She was Dipti. Her name was Dipti. She was not initiated at that time. And Aditya Narayan Prabhu. Our Aditya Narayan Prabhu. He was Aditya that time. He was also not initiated. So anyway, Dipti called me. And I don't know how she got my number. But she said, I heard that you are a devotee and you are here in Orlando. Just wanted to tell you that on Gaur Purnima, we have just now, because I think Shivratri comes just after Gaur Purnima, if I remember correctly. So just few days ago on Gaur Purnima, they had 2008 Gaur Purnima, they opened a temple in Orlando. The ISKCON Orlando temple on Rouse Road, it was opened on Gaur Purnima 2008. So I prayed on Shivratri for Devotee Association, and Dipti called me and she said, we have a temple now. So you please come. We have Sunday feast, you please come. And Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj is coming to the temple. So you please come. So I was feeling so spiritually weak, and that phone call was like a Sanjeevani for me. So I went, and there I met Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. And I knew him from Radha Gopinath Mandir. I knew him from Mayapur, because Śrīla Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj always invited Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj for all yatras, Kartik yatras, especially Mayapur yatras. And Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj would give several classes also during the yatra. So 2003 Mahārāj was there in Mayapur. So I knew Mahārāj. So all my memories of Mahārāj were very good memories. Mahārāj dancing with Śrīla Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj, Mahārāj doing sweet kirtans, giving beautiful classes. Just the way Mahārāj walked, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, it was so pleasing to see, like a swan, like a Rajahamsa. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj would move around. And I requested Mahārāj if I could take dust from his feet. I did not have Kantimala. I did not have anything. Very, very weak. I was spiritually very weak. And Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj very kindly obliged. And I told Mahārāj that, Mahārāj, actually I'll show you something. Let me see if I can show you something. You see this photograph? This is 2015 when Mahārāj came to our home when he was not feeling well, and he came despite not feeling well. He came from the airport. Damodar, he did Damodar Ashtakam. So you see this kurta I'm wearing? Mahārāj gave me an embrace, patted me, and he touched this kurta. And that's why even today I wear this kurta. If you see most of my classes, I wear this kurta. Because in 2015, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj had blessed me. And he had also asked me to preach at that time. So this kurta is very special for me. I always wear this. So like that. So I will show you something else. This is very personal, dear devotees. But I feel like sharing. See this YouTube. Are you able to see the YouTube? You see, I'm sitting here. This is Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. This is ISKCON Orlando. I'm here sitting without Kanthimala. I'm wearing jeans. That devotee who stood up, that is Aditya Narayan Prabhu. So when this kirtan happened, dear devotees, I was really at a very, very spiritually low phase of my life. And I was finding it very difficult to even maintain the vows of initiation. And I had not seen devotees in a long time. And then suddenly I come and I see Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. And this day, and somehow I didn't even know, but somehow somebody recorded this and then put it on YouTube also. But this day is very special for me, because Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, he really infused life into my Krishna consciousness. I was, as far as Krishna consciousness was concerned, I was dead. I was dead. And Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj came and he did CPR on me. He gave me dust from his lotus feet. He blessed me. I asked Mahārāj that, Mahārāj, in spite of being in Krishna consciousness for 10 years, 1998 to 2008, if one still has fall down, one still has difficulty in Krishna consciousness, it is so depressing, what to do? So to encourage me, Mahārāj said that don't worry. What is 10 years? Bilwa Mangal Thakur, Bharat Mahārāj, they were on the platform of Bhav and still they had difficulties. So why are you getting depressed? He says, don't worry. You just continue in your Krishna consciousness. Don't worry about fall downs. Don't worry about difficulties. You just henceforward don't deviate. You just follow what Srila Prabhupada has given, and it's just a matter of time. You will get Krishna. He gave me so much confidence and magnanimous. Even though I was not his disciple, he gave me dust from his lotus feet. He gave me personal time. He gave me personal instructions. He gave me his embrace. This is Mahavadanya. So merciful, so merciful. So that is the 10th quality. 11th quality is Mridu, mild. So again, going back to that same photo I showed you where Mahārāj, Gopal and myself are standing, 2015, Kartik month, when Mahārāj came from the airport, he was not feeling well. So we were feeling very guilty that Mahārāj had to come home. It was completely out of his way to come from the airport. He could have gone directly to the temple. Now Mahārāj has another 45-minute ride back to the temple. He's so tired. It's so late at night. So we were feeling very guilty that because we wanted Mahārāj to bless us, because we wanted Mahārāj's lotus feet in our home, we inconvenienced Mahārāj. And I think Mahārāj knew that we are having that pain in our heart. So Mahārāj, when he was leaving, I got Gopal, my son, and Gopal told Mahārāj that Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, thank you very much. He said, why? So Gopal said that because you made Abhay Charan series. Gopal told Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj that I have watched it so many times. I can even tell the dialogues and everything. I have seen those videos so many times on YouTube. And I love them. Thank you for making Abhay Charan serial. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, he gave his garland to Gopal. You see in that photo, he's wearing Mahārāj's garland also. And he said, Gopal, by these words, you have relieved me of all my fever, body ache, tiredness, pain, and suffering. By saying that you like to watch Abhay Charan serial, I am so happy. All my inconvenience is gone. So Mahārāj said that to make us feel good, because he knew that we are having that pain in our heart, that we troubled him. So this is the very mild, sweet nature, Mridu, mild nature of Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. How he was so sensitive to our feelings. Prabhuji, it's 12 baj gaya, Prabhuji. There are 26 qualities. I just did 11th quality. If you want, I can speak some of the time also.
No.
Continue?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Just one of you, I don't know who, let me see, is Jai Kumar Prabhu here? Jai Shri Mataji is there. Maybe if Jai Kumar Prabhu is listening, if you can put in that group, Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita group, that 12 baje ka Bhagavad Gita class nahi hoga. In fact, instead of that, they can join this Zoom link. That will be nice if someone can put it on the groups. So we'll cancel that Gita class. So this was 11th quality. Now we'll go to the 12th quality. Shuchi, clean. So there are 4 regulative principles, my dear friends. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Because these principles, they protect us from breaking the 4 pillars of dharma. The 4 pillars of dharma are truthfulness, austerity, compassion, and Shuchi, cleanliness. By meat eating, compassion goes. By gambling, truthfulness goes. By intoxication, austerity goes. And by illicit sex, cleanliness goes. You see? So one of the quality of a devotee is Shuchi, clean. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was a lifelong Naishtik brahmachari. He took sannyas at such a young age. Directly from Srila Prabhupada, he took sannyas. And Prabhupada saw this very special quality in Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, that he was so Shuchi, so clean, so pure, that Prabhupada thought it fit to give him first, second, and third initiation within a matter of few months. Prabhupada did this very rarely. I think only Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj and Srila Gaur Govinda Swāmī Mahārāj. Prabhupada did this for them, gave them sannyas very quickly, very, very quickly. Also, there is a very great saint in India. Her name is Anandamayi Ma. She's a Bengali saint, a very great yogi. She is mentioned in many books, and she has many disciples also all over India, many mutts also. She's from Bengal, but although she was married, she was always absorbed in Krishna. A very saintly lady, always absorbed in Krishna. And in Rishikesh, she had an ashram, Anandamayi Ma. And when Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, he was in search of a guru, spiritual seeker, he was in search of a guru, he came to Rishikesh. And he came to the ashram of Anandamayi Ma. One of the leading disciples of Anandamayi Ma was a sannyasi, and he took a lot of interest in Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. At that time, Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj had not met Prabhupada. He was just a young boy searching for guru. And everybody liked Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj very much. Why? Because he was having all good qualities. He was very well educated. He came from a very aristocratic, dignified family, very cultured family. He was a very nice boy, no bad habits. So he was the ideal candidate that any guru would want as one's disciple. Germany, studied in Germany, from also Bengali. So he spoke Bengali was mother tongue also. So everything was compatible with Anandamayi Ma. And everybody was pushing Bhakti Charu Mahārāj to get initiation from Anandamayi Ma. And Mahārāj was taken to Anandamayi Ma for initiation. And Anandamayi Ma looked at Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj and said, "You don't belong to me. Your guru is someone else, and you will very soon meet your guru. And when you surrender to your guru, the whole world will fall at your feet." Anandamayi Ma told this to Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. You don't belong to me. You belong to some other guru. You will very soon find your guru. And when you surrender to your guru, you will also become a Jagat Guru. Shuchi. Anandamayi Ma could see what a pure soul this is. Then she also gave some prasad to Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. And everyone she was giving prasadam with the left hand. And when Mahārāj came, she gave with the right hand. And the leading sannyasi disciple explained to Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj that this is very special mercy. She never gives anybody with her right hand. When she has to give sadharan kripa, she gives with left hand. And almost everybody she gives with left hand. But very rare few people are there, very pure souls, who she will give Vishesh Kripa. Sadharan Kripa and Vishesh Kripa. Vishesh Kripa is with right hand. And to you she gave with right hand. Even though she said that you don't belong to her. That means she recognizes you as a very great spiritualist. Shuchi. Lifelong brahmachari. Exemplary sannyasi. Very difficult to maintain the vows of saffron cloth. But Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj is a shining example of an ideal renunciate. Very pure, very clean. And also one is known by the company one keeps. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was very, very dear friend of many exalted devotees. Like Srila Gaur Govinda Swāmī Mahārāj, Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Mahārāj, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Mahārāj, Srila Indradumna Swāmī Mahārāj, Srila Lokanath Swāmī Mahārāj, Srila Jayapataka Swāmī Mahārāj. He was the dearmost friend to all these great acharyas in our line. A person is known by the company. A person is known by the friends one has. So like that. It's very beautiful. The life of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Next quality 13 is Akinchan. Akinchan. Kinchan means something. Akinchan means nothing. One who has nothing of this material world. Only has Krishna. Akinchan. No material possessions. This is also very personal. In the year 2008, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj suffered a heart attack. I don't know how many of you know this, but he suffered a heart attack. It was a pretty serious heart attack. And he was being taken in the car to the hospital. And we were in the Orlando temple. And I think our Sunday feast was going on when the news came that Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj has suffered a heart attack. Serious heart attack. So immediately there are many disciples of Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj in the Orlando area. Immediately they got on the phone and they called Mahārāj on the cell phone. Mahārāj, where are you? Are you okay? We are praying. In the middle of the Sunday feast, we started praying for Mahārāj. All of us. His Holiness Trivikram Swāmī Mahārāj was there. And we immediately initiated praying for Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So I think Mahārāj was speaking to Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. His Holiness Trivikram Swāmī Mahārāj, Guru Gauranga Prabhu, they were from Orlando. They were speaking to Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj on the phone as he's being taken in the car to the hospital. And they asked Mahārāj, Mahārāj, please, you want to say something to us, some message to all of us? So Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, in that excruciating chest pain, shortness of breath, he spoke the following words. Please listen carefully, my dear friends. This is the heart of a Vaishnava. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj said, Śrīla Prabhupada is a very rich man. Śrīla Prabhupada is a very rich man. And he has many cars in his garage. Not a 2-car garage, 3-car garage, 4-car garage. No. Śrīla Prabhupada has got a fleet of cars. Śrīla Prabhupada has many, many cars, thousands of cars. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said. Some are Lamborghinis, some are Rolls Royces, some are Mercedes, Audis, BMWs, Toyota, Honda, all sorts of cars. And I am an old, useless car in the fleet of Śrīla Prabhupada's cars. If this car is having some engine trouble and stops working, what is the loss to the rich man, Śrīla Prabhupada? He can just use any other car. So don't feel sorry if I die of this heart attack. It makes no difference to Śrīla Prabhupada's mission. I am just an insignificant old car that is bound to break down. So just be happy, chant Hare Krishna and continue serving Śrīla Prabhupada unitedly. This was the message of Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. This is the heart of a Vaishnava. Akinchan. Doesn't think anything of himself. He had so many disciples, so many temple projects, so many roles and responsibilities in the management of ISKCON. He had done so many services, but still akinchan. When it came to self-analysis, he was akinchan. I'm nothing. I'm just an old car. Prabhupada has so many cars. Hare Krishna. Akinchan. That was Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Quality number 14. Shanta. Shanta. Shanta means very peaceful. I remember in the year 2020, when Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj came to America, and somehow in the travels he got the COVID-19 infection. When the test came back positive and he was having shortness of breath, and he came to Orlando Hospital in Florida. There are even photographs of Mahārāj in the ER. Mahārāj was very shanta, very peaceful. Mahārāj said, okay, so I'm going to die. No problem. Just take me to the temple. I want to die in the association of devotees. I want to die in Prabhupada's temple. I don't want to leave my body in the hospital. Just take me. Very shanta, very peaceful, very composed. This is only possible for someone who has attained the lotus feet of Shri Guru Shri Krishna. Otherwise, this kind of peacefulness is not possible. Not possible. There is anxiety. There is restlessness. I have seen it. Oh, I got COVID. In those days, there was no treatment for COVID. There was no remdesivir. There was nothing. We did not even know at that time that we are supposed to treat COVID-19 infection with steroids. There was nobody was using dexamethasone at that time. So COVID, when one got serious COVID infection, it was almost invariably fatal if one had to go to the ICU or get hospitalized. It was very serious. And here is Mahārāj. Okay, very nonchalant. Okay, very peaceful. Just take me to the temple. I want to leave this body in the temple. Shant. There cannot be a greater test than this when your life is at stake. 15th quality is Krishna Eka Sharanam. Krishna Eka Sharanam. Bas Krishna Ek Sharanam. Complete Sharanarati. Complete shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. There is a video on YouTube where Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj addresses the congregation in Ujjain before boarding his flight for America. Someone can share the link in the chat box if possible. I'll be very grateful. There Mahārāj says that people are saying, don't go to America, don't travel. There is problem going on. There is coronavirus infection going on. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, how can I not go? It is a service that my Guru Mahārāj Srila Prabhupada has given me. There are devotees who are preaching there in America and they are feeling weak. I have to go there and inspire them. I have to go there and encourage them. Srila Prabhupada did not tell us go and live in Radhakund, go and live in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada told us to go to Radhakund. Srila Prabhupada told us to go to Vrindavan. But not stay there permanently. Because if every devotee goes and stays in Vrindavan, then who is going to preach? And Mahaprabhu has said, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Amara gaya guru hai tara idesh. Mahaprabhu has said, Prithvi te te achanagar adigram sarvatra prachar hoibe moranam. Who will do prachar in every town and village if everybody goes to Vrindavan? I am sitting here in Ujjain temple. This is not different from Vrindavan. It is Krishna, Radha and Krishna's temple. If I sit comfortably here, who is going to preach? Who is going to help the devotees who are preaching at the front lines in America? Which is a non-different from hell. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, it is non-different from hell. It's a hellish country. Yes, it is a hellish country. Because modes of ignorance and passion are so strong in the Western world. Mahārāj said, but still I'll go as my service. I cannot neglect those devotees who are feeling weak in the Western world. I have to go and inspire them and encourage them. This is called Sharanagati. Complete surrender to the desire of Guru Mahārāj and Krishna. Not even caring for one's own safety. Not even caring for one's own safety. Did someone share that? Okay, Vamshidhari Gopal Prabhu has shared. So,
us, Prabhupada didn't encourage us to go to Radhakund and live there. Prabhupada didn't encourage us to live in Vrindavan. Prabhupada wanted us to go to Vrindavan. But Prabhupada wanted us to go, stay wherever we are. And preach Krishna consciousness. That's the most important thing. Mahaprabhu wanted Krishna consciousness movement to spread. Now, if everybody lives in Mathura and Radhakund and Vrindavan and Varsana, then what will happen to this world? Who will preach Krishna consciousness? Therefore, for the sake of Mahaprabhu's pleasure, we don't care for our spiritual advancement. And like Vasudev Datta, let me take all the sinful reactions of everybody and let me go to hell. But let everybody get delivered. That is the attitude of an advanced devotee. That is the mode that Srila Prabhupada wanted us to accept. We are prepared to go anywhere. That's why we are prepared to go to a place called America, which is not different from hell. But we dare to go there. Everybody is saying, Mahārāj, why are you going there? Why are you going there? I know that place is hellish. But we have to go there to preach. And other boys are there, other devotees are there they're preaching. And if I stay in Ujjain, because there is some problems, coronavirus, then will that be appropriate? As their leader, I am hiding. And they're fighting the battle in the forefront. No. As a leader, I should be there with them. That's why I'm going. Thank you very much.
Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj ki jai. This is called Krishna Eka Sharanam. Complete surrender to Guru and Krishna. Not even caring for one's own life. So much nectar is there, my dear friends, in our Krishna consciousness, in our ISKCON. There should be a ISKCON Bhaktamal. ISKCON Bhaktamal. Glorious devotees. We can speak for days and days and days glorifying the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. They are so glorious. The heart swells with transcendental pride. What is this? Vasudev Datta. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj is invoking the example of Vasudev Datta. Let the sins of the whole universe come upon me and let me go to hell and suffer forever. But let everyone else go to Krishna. How pleasing is this to Srila Prabhupada and to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amazing. Krishna Eka Sharanam. Complete Sharanagati to Krishna. Not afraid of COVID. Not afraid of traveling in a pandemic. Quality number 16. Akam. Desirelessness. Akam means no material desires. No personal desires. I would like to remember what I have heard from His Holiness Indradumna Swāmī Mahārāj. Srila Prabhupada had a very dear god brother by the name Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Mahārāj. He joined Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur at a very young age. When he was a minor, I think he was only 12 or 13 years old. He was 2 years younger to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada appeared in 1896. Srila Puri Mahārāj appeared in 1898. 2 years younger. And he entered Nitya Leela in 1999. Means he was 101 years old. 101 years old. He joined Srila Prabhupada as a young teenager. And Srila Prabhupada asked him, "You are just a young boy. Just write down and tell me your parichay. Who are you? What is your name? Parents' name? Mother's name? Village name?" So this young boy, who would later on become Puri Mahārāj, he wrote on a piece of paper and gave Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that paper. Saraswati Thakur read it and it said, "Ami tomar nitya das, ei amar parichay." My only introduction is that I am your eternal servant. And he joined as a brahmachari, as a young teenager. All his life he lived with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All the articles that we read by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur are the lecture notes that Srila Puri Mahārāj took. He had learned that shorthand that Saraswati Thakur invented. And in shorthand, he would take notes and then write full articles. That's how we have Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Vani today. These are all transcriptions of his lectures written by Srila Puri Mahārāj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Mahārāj. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had Sakshat Darshan of Sri Narsimhadev in Mayapur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had Sakshat Darshan of Sri Narsimhadev, and Narsimha Bhagwan told Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur that you are the 7th Goswami. What the 6 Goswamis did in Vrindavan, you are alone doing it in Mayapur. I will protect you. You are a preacher, I will protect you, and I will give you a secret Narsimha mantra. You chant this mantra and your preaching activities will always be protected. And Lord Narsimhadev, Bhagwan Sri Narsimhadev, personally spoke this Narsimha mantra to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had 10 children, more than 10 children. And he only found Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to be qualified to receive this mantra. So he gave this mantra to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This mantra is specially meant for traveling preachers who travel widely and preach. It protects them from all dangers that they encounter while traveling and preaching, specifically. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada gave this Narasimha mantra to Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj was a very high-class Vaishnava. Every morning he would wake up at 2 o'clock and he would chant continuously for 8 hours, 64 rounds. Then he would sit for 1.5 hours and worship his Shaligram Shilas. Then he would sing Ashtakams and prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam. And only at noon he would take prasad. He never ate food cooked by anybody who was not Brahmanically initiated. All his life. Very pure, Brahmanical. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada gave the Narasimha mantra to Srila Puri Maharaj. It was the desire of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that every country, every city, the Bhakti movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should spread. And among all the disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Mahārāj Prabhupada, did the maximum preaching. Maximum prachar Srila Prabhupada did, our Prabhupada. And Srila Puri Maharaj was very much appreciative of this. He very much appreciated our Prabhupada. That of all my God brothers, you have fulfilled the desire of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, even in India, you have preached so much Krishna consciousness. Even Russia and Japan. Really. Gurvagyam Shirasi Dhritva Shaktyavesha Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachyatarine. Taking the order of our Guru Maharaj on your head, being empowered with the preaching spirit of and compassionate spirit of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is called Swarup, Nityananda Swarup, and taking Hare Krishna Mahamantra with you, you have delivered the East Hemisphere and the West Hemisphere. Not just Paschatya Deshatarine. In ISKCON we say Paschatya Deshatarine, but the Gaudiya devotees are saying to our Prabhupada that Paschatya Prachyatarine, East and West. Prabhupada is the West. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī iti namine Gurvagya Shirasi Dhritva Shaktyavesha Swarupine Hare Krishna iti mantrana Paschatya Prachyatarine. Swāmī Mahārāj, Srila Puri Maharaj said that Swāmī Mahārāj means our Prabhupada. Srila Swāmī Mahārāj has fulfilled the desire of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he has many sannyasi disciples who are also preaching. I must give this Narasimha mantra to one such sannyasi. And Srila Puri Maharaj approached Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Maharaj. You are a sannyasi, directly given sannyas by Prabhupada, you are preaching, traveling. I want to give you this mantra. And Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj said, I will get you another sannyasi who is traveling more than me, who is preaching in very dangerous areas. He needs this mantra. And I will bring you my God brother. So Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj went to Srila Indradumna Swāmī Maharaj. And he told Srila Indradumna Swāmī Maharaj that I want you to get this mercy from Srila Prabhupada's God brother. But what will the GBC say? To hear mantra means to take diksha from some other guru. So the GBC meeting was called, and the GBC unanimously agreed that Srila Puri Maharaj is a very pure-hearted acharya. He is a very dear God brother of Srila Prabhupada, and he wants to give this mercy for the sake of preaching. So they approved Srila Indradumna Swāmī Maharaj to receive that Narasimha mantra from Srila Puri Maharaj. And Srila Indradumna Swāmī Maharaj received the mantra from Srila Puri Maharaj because of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj's selflessness. A calm, completely selfless, desireless, no personal selfish desires. And after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Maharaj, choked up with emotion and teary-eyed, Srila Indradumna Swāmī Maharaj narrated this story. And Mahārāj said that I asked Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, why me? Why you don't take this mantra? And Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, when Śrīla Puri Mahārāj offered, somehow I thought of you, that you should be protected. You are my God brother, you should be protected. So I recommended you to receive this mantra. Śrīla Indraduma Swāmī Mahārāj said, after that I have been diagnosed with cancer, I have been attacked, I have been to dangerous places. And on at least 3 occasions, I almost faced death. But this Narasimha mantra protected me. And with tears in his eyes and his voice choked with emotion, Śrīla Indraduma Swāmī Mahārāj said, I wish that Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj had received this mantra instead of me. Because then he would have lived when he got the COVID. Because he was also traveling to preach. So he should have received this mantra. But he was so selfless, so devoid of personal desires, calm, that he gave it to me. That was the 16th quality. 17th quality, aniha, indifferent to material acquisitions. We have a tendency to become proud of our material acquisitions. But aniha, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was indifferent to material acquisitions. He came from an educated family, a well-to-do family, aristocratic family. He went to Germany in those days to get educated. But he gave up everything, his wealth, his family, his education, everything, to find a guru. And when he found a Sadguru in the form of Srila Prabhupada, he never looked back. Aniha, indifferent to material acquisitions. He could have lived in Calcutta, a nice house, nice family, friends, money, prestige, but just an education. With his education, he could have earned so much money in those days. In the 1970s, where do you find an Indian boy who is educated in Germany? So prestigious. Even today it is so prestigious. What to speak of in the 1970s? He could have made millions. But aniha, indifferent, udasin, indifferent to material acquisitions. Gave up everything for a higher purpose, for Krishna consciousness. Then 18th quality. So 17th was aniha, indifferent to material acquisitions. 18th quality is Vijita Shadguna. Completely conquered the 6 anarthas. Let me ask you a question. Of the 6 anarthas, which is the most difficult? Type it in the chat box. Of the 6 anarthas, which is the most dangerous, most deep-rooted, most difficult? If there is one anartha that we could get rid of and it will solve all problems of life, which one it would be? So let me read the answers. Lust, lust, pride, envy, lust, envy. No, that is not the correct answer. The most dangerous anartha is ahankar, false ego. Analyze this. You say lust. Can there be lust if there is no ahankar? Ahankar means to identify with the body. I am this body. I am this purush. I am this man. I want a woman. Lust is coming because I am identifying myself as a man. Correct? Or if someone does something to us, then, oh, you are insulting me, so I am angry. Anger. But anger is coming because of ahankar. If there is no identification with material body, there is no ahankar, then there is no question of lust, there is no question of anger, there is no question of envy, there is no question of greed. The root of all anarthas, please understand, the subtlest of all the 6 anarthas is false ego, ahankar. And a pure devotee is Vijita Shadguna, has conquered the 6 anarthas, Shadaripu, the 6 enemies. But the root of all this is false ego, ahankar, the greatest anartha. And I will tell you how devoid of ahankar, free from ahankar, devoid of false ego was Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. I have personally experienced this. One year, there was a couple, they used to attend our Bhakti Vriksha, and they were very inspired by Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. They wanted to take initiation. So they requested me that, Prabhuji, can you please take us to Mahārāj? When Mahārāj comes to Atlanta, we want to take shelter, Guru Padashraya, so that next year when Mahārāj comes, we can get initiation. They were chanting 16 rounds. Husband had just started chanting. The wife was chanting 32 rounds. Very sincere devotees. So I took them to Mahārāj's room when Mahārāj was staying at ISKCON Atlanta temple one of the years when Mahārāj came. And I introduced them. This is such and such Prabhu, his good wife, such and such Mataji. Both of them attend our Bhakti Vriksha every Saturday, come to temple. They do services. They're very sincere. And they're chanting. And I even went on and said that Mataji does 32 rounds every day. And Mahārāj was very happy. Mahārāj was very happy. He said, very good. Keep chanting. Very nice. 16 rounds is minimum. You chant as much as you can. Very nice. He was very happy. And then I said, Mahārāj, they want to take your shelter. They want to accept you as their Guru Mahārāj. Please, can you give them shelter? Guru Padashray. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said that, yes, I can accept both of you. And my duty is to take you, to carry you to the lotus feet of Śrīla Prabhupada. My role is to take you to the lotus feet of Śrīla. He said, that I can do. I know Prabhupada. Prabhupada has accepted me. Prabhupada gave me sannyas. Prabhupada accepted service from me. I am Prabhupada's son. I can take you to my father. I can take you to Śrīla Prabhupada. That much I can guarantee. But as far as anything else is concerned, my only identification is that I am Prabhupada Das. I am the servant of Śrīla Prabhupada. This is called true ego. And a person who is free from false ego, only that person can have true ego. True ego means Chakshudana Diloja Janme Janme Prabhu say. Birth after birth, I am a servant of my Guru Maharaj. Raja ko hai ami tomar dase ranu das. Bhrityera bhritya karo ei moranash. So this is called true ego. Only a person devoid of false ego can have true ego. And Krishna consciousness means to be situated in one's true ego. What is true ego? Jivara Swarup hai Krishna Nitya Das. I am Krishna Das. And I can attain Krishna, I can serve Krishna only through my Guru. And therefore, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, everything he did it not independently, but as a servant of Śrīla Prabhupada, as a disciple of Śrīla Prabhupada. Always connecting everyone to Śrīla Prabhupada. That was a common point. This is called Vijita Shadgun. No question of any other anartha if there is no false ego. Every anartha is born from false ego. I am this body, therefore this body needs to satisfy lust. I am this body needs this more and more, greed. I am this body, you did not respect me, so I am angry with you, anger. I am this body has to be number one, my reputation has to be number one, so I am envious of others. Every anartha comes from false ego. But if someone has true ego, has no false ego, there is no question of other anarthas. So, Vijita Shadguna, that is Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. There are more stories I have written here, but we don't have time, so I'm going to skip it. Quality number 20 is Mita Bhuk, controlled in his eating. Mita Bhuk. Control mein khate hai. They don't overeat or undereat. Mita Bhuk. The diet is controlled. This also means to eat only Krishna Prasad. Mita Bhuk means diet is controlled. Controlled means to eat only Krishna Prasad, and that also in a appropriate quantity. I remember Mahārāj, to encourage, he would always say that I like Radha Bhav's cooking. Sometimes even when he couldn't come home, he would accept our offer of bringing prasad to the temple for him. Radha Bhav would cook and take. And always he would appreciate. But when I noticed, every time Mahārāj would eat very little. He appreciated the pizza, the mango cheesecake and everything. But Mita Bhuk, he used to eat very limited quantity. I never saw him overeating. Mita Bhuk, very controlled. That is very important. 20th quality is apramatta, without inebriation. Apramatta. Usually, when one becomes famous and one has followers, pride comes. And that pride is the greatest intoxicant. Apramatta means not intoxicated, without inebriation. Inebriation means intoxication. And the greatest intoxication is pride. And pride comes from achievements. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj had so much to be proud of. He had so many achievements, so successful. We will come to his achievements in a later quality when we describe Daksha, expertise. But he had so many reasons to be proud, but he was completely devoid of any pride. In fact, my dear friend Divyanam Prabhu, when he invited me yesterday or day before yesterday for this katha, he told me that Prabhuji, we celebrate Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj's Vyas Puja on the tithi when Srila Prabhupada appeared or landed in the Western world, in America. Because Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj would always take the opportunity of his own Vyasa Puja to profusely glorify Srila Prabhupada. You see how apramatta this is? Intoxication means to be intoxicated with the false pride that I am great. But apramatta means always glorifying one's Guru, passing on all the glorification, all credits to Shri Guru. That is apramatta, without any inebriation of pride. Another something very personal is one of the years, I forget the year, my Guru Mahārāj, Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj, he was invited by the President of the United States, President Obama. Mahārāj's book had come out, The Journey Home, and so many things had happened. And Mahārāj was able to speak at the British Parliament and so many other influential places. And Mahārāj's fame was rising, and many leaders of the world were wanting to get Mahārāj's association. So Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj came to America, and the person who was driving him gave the news that Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj wanted to inform you that recently Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj was invited by the President of the United States. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, why I did not know this? When did this happen? So then the devotee said, oh, quite a few weeks have gone by. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, but this is big news. A ISKCON leader is invited by the President of the United States of America. It is big news. Why nobody is talking about it? Why I was not informed about this? So the devotee was silent. He didn't know what to say. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, no, we should make propaganda about this, that our ISKCON leaders are able to give spiritual guidance to the world leaders. This is a big thing. And now Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj himself is a big personality, and he is himself preaching to some of the biggest world leaders, but he is glorifying Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj. And he gave the example that we are all one team. We are a soccer team, soccer team. And Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said, the one who scores the maximum goals is the striker, right in the front. The strikers, they are the ones who are expert at taking the ball and shooting goals. And it is the job of others to pass the ball, the soccer ball, to the strikers, so they get a chance to shoot goals. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said that Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj is very expert at preaching, and he's able to score all these goals in the scene of the world leaders. He's able to make all these goals. So as his god brothers, as his teammates, it is our job to pass the ball to Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj, so he can do what he does best, shoot the goals. But actually, it is Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj who perfectly played the role of a goalkeeper, because he defended the dignity of ISKCON when we went through so many difficulties after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. He was also playing defense. He defended so many apasiddhantas. He defended the true siddhanta against so many apasiddhantas. And by preaching to so many world leaders in India and abroad, Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj was himself a very great striker, goal maker of the team. But he is so apramatta, so devoid of false intoxication of pride, that he's seeing good qualities in others. And he's seeing others as the strikers, others as the goalkeeper, and himself as an old car of Srila Prabhupada. This is aparamata. This is genuine humility, pridelessness. This next quality, 21st quality out of 26, 21st quality is amani. Not expecting any respect, devoid of false prestige, not expecting any respect for oneself. In Surat, there was a conference where it was the birthday of Gandhiji. And Surat is in Gujarat. Gandhiji also appeared in Gujarat, so a lot of affinity. So it was a big celebration on Gandhiji's birthday. And it was a youth conference where so many students were invited, and some prominent leaders of India were invited to speak on the topic of modern youth and principles of Gandhiji. Which principles of Gandhiji can the youth adopt to make our country a better place? And guess who was invited from ISKCON? His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Well, he was himself a striker. He was himself a goal maker. He's a very prominent leader, very well loved. So many chief ministers, and they loved Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. So he was invited. And Radheshyam Prabhu happened to be there also. When Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj saw Radheshyam Prabhu there, who is a brahmachari, way junior to Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj told Radheshyam Prabhu, you come and you share the stage with me. Radheshyam Prabhu said, no, you have been invited, you are supposed to speak. There are so many thousands of students here. You speak. Radheshyam Prabhu said, no, Baba, I am an old man. You are a youth preacher. You have written so many books on youth preaching. You have done so much youth preaching. You are a youth preacher. You come and you speak. And I will also speak, you also speak. We will speak 50-50. So they were given 30-40 minutes speaking slot. So they said, we will speak 15-20 minutes each. And Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj told Radheshyam Prabhu that actually I really want to hear you, because by hearing you, I will learn so many things. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj is saying, the Guru is telling the disciple, Shiksha disciple, that I will learn from you. This is called amani. Not, no sense of prestige. Very, very humble. Amani. Not expecting any respect. Prideless. Prideless is the word. Amani. Prideless. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. Sharing the stage with Radheshyam Prabhu and saying, I will learn from you. I want to learn from you. You are a youth preacher, not me. 22nd quality, Gambhir. Grave. A pure devotee of Krishna is very grave. Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj always had a sweet smile, always spoke very sweet words. But internally, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was very deep. Very deep. I have a lot of attraction, I would say even some love for Jaiva Dharma. This book, one of my favorite books, Jaiva Dharma by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because it has everything, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. From Radharani's Palya Dasi, from Manjari Bhav, up to Manjari Bhav, everything is there. From what is the nature of a jiva, the constitution of a jiva se leke Prayojan Tattva, everything is there in one book, Jaiva Dharma. So I love this book. But who was the first person after Srila Prabhupada to teach and give classes on Jaiva Dharma in ISKCON? It was Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. After Srila Prabhupada left, on the terrace of the building in Mayapur, Lotus building, Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj in the evenings would call all his God brothers, because he spoke Bengali. So he could read directly from Jaiva Dharma and give a class in English. There was no translation available. So Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj was the first leader in ISKCON to give series of classes on Jaiva Dharma. And Jaiva Dharma is a completely grave, serious, deep philosophical book. There are no leelas there. It's all tattva. So very gambhir swabhav. Also, another very a topic very close to my heart. Very close to my heart is Sharanagati. Sharanagati. And where did I learn about Sharanagati from? It is from Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. Because Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj has done several seminars on Sharanagati. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote many bhajans on Sharanagati, and Śrīla Bhakti Charu Mahārāj would sing those bhajans of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the topic of Sharanagati and explain their meaning and give a seminar on the 6 limbs of Sharanagati and teach about Sharanagati. These are very deep, grave, serious topics, my dear friends. Sharanagati. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, with his own example, he did that. Sharanagati seminars and Jaiva Dharma classes, very deep. Also, I have personally seen Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj, when he initiated, many times, he would make the disciple take a vow, which is very unique. I will chant at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. I will follow the 4 regulative principles. I will serve in the mission of Srila Prabhupada in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant. And I will never, ever, ever leave ISKCON. I will stay in Prabhupada's ISKCON all my life. Very unique. Very unique. And very deep also. And also, I know there are disciples of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj who have been asked by Mahārāj to take a vow that every Ekadashi I will chant 24 rounds. That is the initiation vow. And every day at least 16 rounds, and every Ekadashi at least 25 rounds. And every Ekadashi I will read the Brahma Samhita. Devotees have taken initiation vows like this in front of Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj. Very grave, very deep, serious. Quality number 23, Karuna, compassionate, very merciful. It's a very nice example of this. There was a union of big industrialists of Mumbai, big industrialist family businessmen who are very rich. They wanted to have a spiritual program where they wanted to invite their whole families. So husband, wife and kids, everyone. And they wanted to have a spiritual satsang. Many of these industrialist families in India, like Ambani family, Bajaj family, Birla families, Mafatlal families, these are very pious families in India. So they organize such programs. So program like that was organized, and Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was invited to speak. And he was speaking, he went there to speak, and he saw the audience, that these are rich businessmen who are not really interested. They're looking at their phone all the time. They're busy, very busy businessmen, and their kids. So what should I do? So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj spoke on the first verse of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Janmadasya chartesha bhidnya swarat. That verse. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj sang that verse in 2-3 different tunes. It has the same meter as Shad Goswami Ashtakam. And you know how beautifully Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj can sing Shad Goswami Ashtakam. So in 2-3 melodies, Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj sang the first verse of Bhagavatam. And the audience were so impressed. Wow, we never knew this odd looking, big looking Sanskrit shlok can be sung in such a melodious way. It was news to them. And they were completely enchanted by the singing. Then, it was a 1 hour program. Then Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj told, would any of you like to sing? I will sing and you repeat. So we'll sing together. So then one industrialist sings, then the other industrialist sing, third industrialist sing, then their wives sing. All of them are singing the first verse of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Okay, everybody is very happy. Because when you involve this type of audience, it's a interactive thing. They like it very much. If one sits and just gives a katha, they may not appreciate. They like to be involved. So they were very happy. Then Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj, to everyone's surprise, he said, all of you kids, would you like to sing this verse? Yes, yes. And then some of the industrialists said that actually we want our kids to learn our Indian culture. They are too westernized. We want them to learn Sanskrit also. So Mahārāj said, let's sing this verse. It's a very important verse. So Mahārāj in brief explained how this verse explains that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Vasudev, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, is the Supreme Lord and his different aspects of Godhood. In 4 or 5 sentences, simple language, Mahārāj explained the meaning. So they knew the meaning of the verse now. And then one by one, Mahārāj got all the kids to sing this verse, the first verse of Bhagavatam. And half an hour is already over. They are only singing the verse. But everybody is so enthusiastic because it's interactive. Then Mahārāj says that we have many devotees in ISKCON who teach Sanskrit. So then these industrialists said, we want to enroll our kids. We want them to learn Sanskrit. We want them to learn such beautiful verses, such shlokas. So fatafat wahan pe, all these millionaires ke bachche, they are enlisting to learn Sanskrit from ISKCON devotees. See that type of preaching. And then Mahārāj says, these are not only to be sung, but they are to be sung and danced. Now let's have dancing kirtan. And Mahārāj took the harmonium and he started singing melodiously Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all these big industrialists, their kids, they are dancing in the kirtan. For half an hour he did kirtan. And everybody, 1 hour program is over. Then there was prasad and finished. Everybody was they loved the program so much And then the brahmachari who were there with Mahārāj, they asked Mahārāj, this was a very atypical program. Like you didn't even touch the purport, you didn't give any katha. It was very different. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said that Srila Prabhupada gives us the ability to assess who is the audience and what do they need and how to best connect them to Krishna. This audience, they were not really ripe for hearing philosophy too much, or they were distracted. They would not have even done justice to hearing a katha nicely. So I just involved them, gave them some Sanskrit, and now they have enrolled their kids to learn Sanskrit from our ISKCON devotees. Now the whole family is connected. And they danced and chanted also. So Prabhupada gives us intelligence to do what will most benefit the audience. So it's not about what I want to speak. मैंने क्या prepare किया है? मेरे notes क्या है? This is what I'm going to speak. No, you see the audience and you do what is best for them. This is Acharya. This is compassion. What will benefit them most? Karuna. This is the 23rd quality. 25th quality is Kavi. A pure devotee is very well learned and also is very poetic. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was a very melodious singer. And I would say that Mahārāj's speech itself was poetry. He would speak so sweetly. Every word was so sweet, like honey, that it was just very poetic. Also, once Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said something very poetic. This was in Radha Gopinath Mandir, 2003. Mahārāj came for a Sunday feast, and Mahārāj was going to do Kirtan and Katha. Srila Radhanath Swāmī Mahārāj requested Mahārāj that you do Kirtan and Katha. So Mahārāj was about to start, and all of us, we put our hands up and we started chanting, Gopi Geet, Gopi Geet, Gopi Geet, Gopi Geet. We want Mahārāj to sing Gopi Geet. So then on demand, Mahārāj sang Tava Kathamritam, Gopi Geet, very beautifully on harmonium. And then Mahārāj chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the same Gopi Geet tune. So Tava Kathamritam, Tapta Jivanam, Kavibhiriditam, Kalmashapaham, Shravana Mangalam, Shrimadatam, Bhuvi Grinanti Ye, Bhurida Jana, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Same tune he sang, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then Mahārāj paused. Look at the poetic ability of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. He paused. He said, now let me teach you how to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mahārāj said that we hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mahārāj didn't say like this, but I am adding from a pure devotee because we were hearing from Mahārāj. So we hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from a pure devotee like Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj. From the ears that now Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj is saying, from the ears the Mahamantra goes in the heart. It purifies our heart. Chetu Darpana Marjanam. And from the heart, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra rises to the tongue. And then it starts dancing on the tongue. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nam Prabhu starts dancing on the tongue. And that's when we sing. Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj in his great poetic expertise said, what is Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan? We hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so it goes inside. So when the leader of the Kirtan is singing, we sing the Mahamantra, it goes through the ear into the heart. It should go. This should be our meditation, that through the ears, Mahamantra is going into my heart. It is purifying my heart. It is giving me Krishna Prem. And that Krishna Prem is coming on my tongue and dancing on my tongue. And that's when we respond. We respond. Remember, Kirtan is call, response. So call is going inside from the ear to the heart. Response, it's that same Mahamantra is coming to the tongue and dancing on the tongue. Call, response, call, response. So Srila Bhakti Charu Mahārāj said this in such a poetic way. And then to substantiate this meditation, he quoted a bhajan of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says exactly this thing. So very poetic. Another very important contribution of Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj to this society is that Srila Prabhupada has written a book which is very less, it is not so well known, but it's a very beautiful book. Srila Prabhupada has written a book called Gita Ragan. It's a beautiful Bengali verses in the same meter as Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Srila Prabhupada has spoken every verse of Bhagavad Gita, all 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita into simple Bengali poetry, Gitar Gan. And Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj popularized this in the schools of West Bengal. So that was a poetic contribution of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj, his service to Srila Prabhupada. The next quality, 25th quality, is Daksha. Pure devotee of Krishna is Daksha, very expert. What can we say about Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj's expertise? He was Sarva Guna Sampanna. He could do everything. Playing all musical instruments, singing, expert in cooking, trained by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's cook, very expert in fundraising. In fact, just before his disappearance from this world, Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj successfully raised a lot of funds for the Mayapur project. Because of the COVID pandemic lockdown, Mayapur was suffering tremendously. No visitors, such a big temple, such a big project. Where is the money going to come from? So there is a YouTube video of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj was also the chairman of the executive committee of the GBC. Think about this. In ISKCON, there are thousands, hundreds and thousands of devotees. The leaders, the guides of all these devotees are the GBC. The GBC, the heart of the GBC is the executive committee, EC. And the executive committee's chief is the chairman of the executive committee. Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj has served as the chairman of the executive committee of the GBC. Such a great manager, such a great leader. Expertise, expert in Vaishnava etiquette, expert in melodious singing of Kirtan and Bhajan, expert in speaking Harikatha, expert manager, expert author. The book is so beautiful, Ocean of Mercy. Author, he's a translator. He translates Srila Prabhupada's books from English into Bengali. Expert at Varnashram, His Holiness Srila Bhakti Raghav Swāmī Mahārāj. He is the authority on Varnashram. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj also. He established this project in D-Land based on Daivi Varnashram, farm community. He built so many temples, like a temple in Ujjain. So he built temples, he built farm communities, he directed a TV serial or a movie, Abhay Charan. He was the director of that. Expert at conflict resolution, expert at improving the relationships between devotees. So what remains? Expert dancer, expert guru, expert mentor, Sarva Gun Sampanna. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj has all transcendental good qualities. Daksha, expert in everything. See the list. Expert in sadhana, expert in cooking, expert in fundraising, expert on Srila Prabhupada's books because he's translated every book of Srila Prabhupada, so he has read every word that Srila Prabhupada ever wrote and translated it. Simply expert. Author, translator, manager, movie director, conflict resolution, farm temple, Varnashram, temples. So artistic, so cultured. He was the cultural minister, Vaishnava etiquette minister for the ISKCON. Everything that Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj touched became gold. You want a nice altar? Where do you order it from? Ujjain. You want the most beautiful TTs? Where do you order them? From Ujjain. Expert in everything. And although Mahārāj's qualities are unlimited, in this list of 26 qualities, the final quality is Mauni, silent. Shri Srimad Radha Govindadas Goswami Mahārāj in his Harikatha explains, who is a Muni? Mauni is a one who does not speak any Gramya Katha, any mundane gossip. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was always engaged in speaking Krishna Katha and doing Krishna Kirtan. Always glorifying Srila Prabhupada, glorifying his god brothers and god sisters, encouraging devotees, glorifying Guru Gauranga Krishna. Srila Radha Govindas Goswami Maharaj says, one who does not speak mundane topics is a Muni. And one who only speaks about Krishna is a Mahamuni. Srila Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj was not only a Muni, but he was a Mahamuni. Always speaking Krishna Katha. Always speaking Krishna Katha. There is so much more to say, but I will stop here. It is 1 o'clock and I still have to go to the hospital. I'm working today. So we'll stop here. His Holiness Śrīla Bhakti Charu Swāmī Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jagat Guru Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrājakācārya Aštottarhita Shri Śrīmad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Mahārāj Śrīla Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jai
Jai.
Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari.
Hari Hari.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.